Second time's a charm. Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Yeah, I just tried to go live and it was like black screen, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. So I learned something last time that happened was if I just quickly push the backspace button or like, and it's like, do you want to leave? Are you sure you want to leave? And I say yes before it actually says live. I can save the live stream and not just have it be a black screen and then have to, redo the whole thing and start a whole new live stream. So we saved ourselves, saved by the bell. How is everybody today? That's fine. Woo Woo Wednesday. Welcome back. Apologies for those who were looking to get readings on Friday. It was kind of last minute, but the kids, I totally spaced that they were going to be home Thursday, Friday for teacher development days or whatever they do for kind of leading up to parent-teacher conferences because they have those coming up. And then at least Wrigley, I don't know about Boston, will have Thursday half day and then Friday off that week as well. So it's kind of a race to against the clock to get everything going for the teachers, I think. So yeah, we are here and we're going to do a collective reading. This was already the plan, but the, I guess, content or subject of our collective reading is maybe kind of nuanced today just because of a download I actually got while in the shower washing my hair earlier. Yes, it's still very wet, so wet hair don't care today. But let's just say these veils of illusion are falling away, left, right, and center. It feels really nice to actually be able to see the truth of something. And I will use some astrology to kind of point out why certain veils are falling and maybe what areas of your life these veils are falling in. If you know your Vedic placements, or if you're going to look into, I'm trying to think, let me look at the actual degrees of Saturn and Neptune because they are still in a decently tight conjunction. Saturn is still retrograde until I believe November 27th. But when Saturn goes retrograde, like skeletons be coming out of those closets. Neptune, I don't know if Neptune's retrograde. I cannot recall off the top of my head. Let me just see if there's somewhere I can go to see the astrology of it all. I plan on talking about at least Saturn and Neptune, but I probably should have gotten all my I's dotted and T's crossed before. What planets are currently retrograde? All right. So Saturn, yeah, and that went retrograde from Western Aries or Vedic Pisces. We're still in Pisces for now, both, I do believe. Maybe it's still, no, it's in Pisces for Aries Western lovers as well right now. It went in on July 13th and it will be till November 28th. I said 27th, but I think it's 27th here in the US and 28th in like India and across the world. Chiron is currently retrograde and from July 30th through January 2nd. This I did not even take into account. And yes, Neptune is retro. I was like, okay, when Neptune goes retrograde, veils of illusion are released. As someone who has the 6 outermost planets, so not counting Mercury and Venus, those are going the right direction. But I have Mars all the way through Pluto in my chart, 6 planets retrograde. So when we have lots of retrogrades, I get epiphanies, I get downloads. Like it's my time to shine. I actually don't mind the like bigger retrogrades. It's the Mercury and Venus retrograde I struggle with because I don't have them natally in my chart. But Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, all of them, like bring it on. It's fine. And Uranus is still retrograde, which it can really make some out of the box thinking, inventions, ideas come up. But a lot of these are going to be retrograded through the end of the year or early into next year. So November 28th, that's when Saturn goes direct. Chiron will go direct January 2nd of next year. Neptune will go direct December 10th. And Uranus, however you want to pronounce that, went retrograde September 6th, and it's going to be retrograde through February of 2026. So that's kind of the longest wait of these 4 retrogrades here. So we have 4 current retrogrades. I know Chiron's not a planet, but it's in your chart. You can look it up. Things go on with it. It's a whole ball of wax, like, and very intricate, detailed informative point in your chart if you know where your natal Chiron is, either way, Vedic or Western. Knowing where that is can really help you. Um, but that all being said, yes, Neptune and Saturn are both currently retrograde, not anywhere close to being stationing direct. So we're still on track for that. Saturn being that planet of longevity, just putting in your paces, karma, um, the system that's in place and just playing by the rules, that's Saturn. And then Neptune can be illusion, or the other side of the coin, actual divine reality. Neptune is a very dualistic kind of energy. So when we're talking about Neptune, it can be the illusion, the deception, or it can be the spiritual enlightenment. Um, you have Saturn and Jupiter in the first house with ascendant. I have Jupiter in my first house. Pluto is exactly conjunct my ascendant. And some of these trigger points that happen around the 20th through the 20th through the 31st every year with the sun on my natal, ascendant and Pluto. And then by Halloween, the sun is exactly conjunct my Jupiter in the first house. And then my natal sun is in the seventh house, exactly opposite in Aries, exactly opposite by 2 degrees, I should say, on Halloween every year. So the veil is very thin for me on Halloween, as it is for most of us. But nautically speaking, if we're talking about all this crazy stuff, nautically meaning like water stuff. Libra is not a water sign, but it brings up a lot of stuff as far as like contracts. And by nautically speaking, I mean like maritime law contracts. And it's almost like this matrix is operating. If any of you know about like maritime law, it's kind of like the Wild West of actual divine order or divine law, or if we just want to put it in matrix terms, you have the government and all these laws and rules, but when you're operating under maritime law, like it's different, like it's the Wild West. And nautically speaking, a lot of these contracts that have been on and popping, not just in this lifetime and the duration of this lifetime for many of us, but many lifetimes, parallel lives, past lives, future lives, whatever we want to consider as another life that we're living or incarnation that we're having. A lot of these contracts that were falsely binding, or we were tricked into them or forced into them, or we felt we had no choice, or we didn't even know about it to begin with. These illusions, these contracts, these ties that bind, soul ties, blood ties, all this stuff, they are unraveling. They are the truth is being revealed. And the weird kind of good, I guess, byproduct of all of this is there's nothing you need to do. I mean, if you feel called to do, a ritual or a journey or whatever, feel free. But there's nothing you need to do to amend or fix or reintegrate what's been taken from you, what's been stolen, what you've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from, what's been suppressed. Because one thing that's falling is just like cloaking energy to keep you from your true tribe, from your true partnerships, from your true business, from your true purpose, whatever that can be. A lot of this ish, for lack of a better word, is being lifted. So it's not that we need to heal ourselves now that we know where the wound is. Okay, let's get in there and do the surgery and remove the bullet. No, it's not us, it's the false self or the false contract, the false binds being removed. So when shackles are removed, yeah, you may have a little bit of soreness around, your ankles or your wrists, wherever you were bound. But your body will naturally, your energy will naturally take care. And that's what I'm seeing with this here. If you feel the need to go the distance and, really dive in and, do the healing, peeling, removing, whatever you feel the need to do, please do. But for those of you that are just effing tired and you just want like the universe to throw you a bone, this is the bone. And then we have it's October 22nd, 11/11, 11/11. The numbers have been off the charts, crazy. I had 4:44 on my clock the other day with 44 degrees, and I was about to take a picture of it, and it turned to 4:45. So I'm like, wasn't meant to get a picture, but I was like, wow, that's a lot of fours, and fours represent stability, security, contracts, right? And when you add up 3 fours plus 2 more, so that's let's see, 5 altogether. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the number 20, which is about partnerships. So a lot of these like soul binds, soul ties with partnerships. These can be business partnerships, soulmate connections that don't have to be like your romantic partner. Like friendships, family members that are part of your soul family, or pretending or parading around as soul family that actually aren't. The false twin flame dynamic. Um, One of my big realizations, the whole twin flame thing. Which I kind of have, I don't know. We all know that the twin flame journey or whatever is like heavily entrenched in this whole new age whatever whatever. Um but it's been bastardized, it's been manipulated, it's been calculated. Like there's been a lot of that that's been misrepresented, misused, misjudged, mislabeled. And I just, doing all the deducing and the energetic math and the feeling into it, felt that one of my best friend, well, my best friend at the time, that passed away was my twin flame. And fun fact, all of this Saturn Neptune in retrograde conjunction is happening right over my natal Venus, and then the sun is currently transiting in my ascendant, triggering um it's triggering my Jupiter, which my Venus is in a Jupiter ruled nakshatra, Purva Bhadrapada nakshatra. If you don't know what all I'm talking about with all of this, like what triggered it, what it is, what astrologically kicked certain things off, you don't have to follow along with that. But it just helps me to know like what trigger was kind of pulled to know why certain things are happening now. And it's just so cool that I have this realization. And I go look at the current transits and I'm like, yes, that's because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. And you just can't make this stuff up. And I do have my natal Saturn in the 12th house, exactly opposite, where this Neptune and Saturn, I mean, it's in the later degrees. It's like 23 degrees of Virgo, my natal Saturn. But in Pisces, in my 6th house, I have my Venus, which is at like 0 degrees of Pisces there. And we're still about 2 to 3 degrees off with Saturn, and then Neptune, I think, is a little farther off of the degree. But they're both heading back to my natal Venus, which, Venus does represent partnerships. It can represent high contracts, spirit contracts, a lot of other nuance with like spirit contracts and stuff, not just represented by Venus, but it is kind of a big factor. The 6th house. So it's in my 6th house of, 6th house is like kind of known enemies. 12th house is more like hidden agendas, hidden enemies, frenemy energy or whatever. I natally have my Mars there, which does represent male friends, brothers, all that fun stuff. So some weird stuff, going on with like male friends, and the energy is kind of covert. I've had a lot of male friends that I considered like really close male friends that was purely platonic on my part, but they like later came out and like, oh, I'm in love with you, or I don't know if any of you have dealt with something like that, but basically in the shower during download time. And this is something that was not even on my radar. I haven't thought about my best friend in a minute now. Like my grandma, it was her 5-year from passing, so she passed away 5 years ago yesterday. So 5-year pass anniversary. So I was thinking about her a lot, but not John wasn't even on my radar. That's his name, my best friend from back in the day. But and this was not like a conscious contract he, proceeded to agree to in this life, but there was a past life that I tuned into very briefly that kind of bound us or tied us in like this soul contract. And yes, I do feel that we are soulmates. Yes, absolutely. But the depth or the level of, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like tangled energy that was put between him and I in this life was not organic, or it was not supposed to be that way, per like both of our spirits wanting that to be a thing, especially mine. I definitely never had those kind of feelings for him. But it came out years later, like 2 years after I was already with my husband. He finally confessed, like, I've been in love with you like forever. I'm just like, oh my God, why? Why? So yes, fall in love with your spirit. And that's kind of because it's like, I'm nothing special. Like, just how I look or how I present myself, but there people can pick up on that spirit energy, I think. And yeah, it's the problem with males. I am grieving the absence of the divine masculine in my life, and it's been like that for me as well. I hear you. Yeah, yeah. And you think, you have this pure, plutonic, just genuine, innocent connection with someone, and then the whole time they actually had sexual feelings for you. I won't say it's a betrayal because it's not like he meant to do it, but it kind of did hit me as a wow, maybe we weren't just as pure and organically connected as I thought. There were maybe a sexual agenda, not like he, that's all he wanted or anything, but like that attraction you have when you are, into someone in that way, you're not thinking clearly. Like, let's just put it that way. You're not using the right head if you're a guy. So it I did have to almost grieve the friendship I thought we had once he confessed to me in 2006, that it was what it was. But then I didn't see, he passed away in 2016, and I saw him a handful of times. I was filming a wedding, shooting a wedding for one of our kind of mutual close friends, and he was there, and we kind of had to go through a doorway at the same time, and I just kind of like, I didn't speak to him, he didn't speak to me, but like, our eyes did all the talking, not like we were staring at each other or anything, because his wife was there and she hates me because she didn't like our connection. And of course at the time I thought, well, we're just friends, what's she so upset about? So she either picked up on it organically, or he told her, yeah, I used to have feelings for her, or whatever. I don't even know. I don't need to know. I don't care to know. So that was revealed to me, going over my natal Venus, any kind of love contract. Another thing that was revealed to me in very close succession to this, this is the weird thing, and you guys can let me know if you get downloads the same way. I mean, I don't get downloads this way every time, but this is kind of I don't know, like a very familiar pattern for me to get downloads to where, and you guys have probably seen me do this kind of where I stutter and kind of spin out here on the live stream, where I just get downloaded with like 20 minutes worth of information like that. And that's kind of how it happened. I got all of this information about John, and then I'm just like washing my hair like, oh my gosh, okay, okay, that makes so much sense. Wow. And then because when you're so close to the situation, you're almost blinded by the light of it, right? And not light as in like divine light, but like, moth to a flame kind of energy. You're blinded by just everything that's actual truth. And there's that veil of illusion of Neptune. But with Saturn going there, and this happening right by my Venus, anything that's, and I did pick up on a couple other like unrequited love things, both on my end, that neighbor that I had in my backyard, the backyard neighbor, just some stuff that just me thinking about him back in the day, and just like, oh, fantasizing like, if we ever got married, I'm literally 14 at this time. So like, cut me some slack. But girls that, people that don't know how spiritually powerful they are, and then they daydream about all these scenarios that actually never happened, but you still direct that energy somewhere. So I'm allowing that energy of mine that I projected to him to come back to me, and then anything for him to go back to him. And then two other unrequited loves, one I did kind of have a feeling about, and the other one was like, what? That guy liked me, that's weird, from like high school, middle school time. So just sitting in the energy of it. Again, there's nothing we really need to do unless you feel the need to call your energy back, which I did that. But I'm just seeing with all of this, falseness needing to come to light, or the truth needing to be revealed. A lot of this stuff, I get chills. A lot of this stuff just needs to be acknowledged. Like, really, that is where the power lies, is you pay attention, you spend your time just acknowledging, and that alone will kind of undo the spell or break the binds or what have you. But again, if you feel the need to go deeper on some of this, that would be great, you know? But right after that big realization with John and the unrequited love kind of going in a few directions from me to me, all the things, was another very random thing. I mean, I'll think about it once in a while, but this is something I did in college to, broke college student needing to have some money. I donated my plasma. Did you guys, anyone ever do that or heard of plasma donation? Specifically through something called BioLife, which the name itself, this is something I'm putting together until right now. It's telling you something biological, bio. biological life. They are trying to take our biological life, meaning our natural life force. They don't, they take out the blood, but then they extract the plasma. And another thing, plasma, like ectoplasm, like the plasma of the blood, it's not purely a physical vibration. There is what's the word? Just kind of more ethereal or etheric spiritual essence within the plasma of the blood. And fun fact, ladies and gents, but ladies specifically, the mucus that comes around the time of ovulation, or if you're turned on or whatever, that is pure plasma. That is pure life force right there. So there are some guys that just you know love that, right? Yeah. And the plasma of the central sun, I mean, they're hiding the truth in plain sight, what's going on here. But think of the people that they target to donate plasma are usually the people who need the money. They're down on their luck. They have bills to pay, and it's kind of like a last resort, like, let me go sit at this place. And it's very interesting how, like, when I very first started it, it felt like so easy and just effortless, and the more I did it, the harder it got to do. And where it would take most people about 40 minutes or so. They'd get in the chair, they'd get hooked up to the thing, their blood would go through the machine, the plasma would be extracted, the blood would be put back in. And I want to say there were at least two, maybe three cycles that it did that to. Um, but it would take me at the very first time I did it, I think it was like a hour and a half, 2 hours. It's still quite a long time. And I'm like, why is it taking me? Because my mom and I would go together, my mom and sister and I would all go together, and they'd be done way before me, even if I got hooked up first and was in line first or whatever. I'm like, what's the deal here? Like, I don't know why. I mean, and it would be like $25 each time. So to me, even back then, like 3 to 4 hours of my time that it eventually was taking was not worth the $25. And I'm just like, I don't know, this isn't feeling right. But basically it came to the conclusion there's some sort of valve here next to this vein, somewhere up in my upper arm, that just wasn't allowing the blood to come out as fast as maybe just a person that didn't have a valve there that's kind of trying to shut off the blood flow, which, I mean, I'm looking at it now with how many obstacles, how many problems. And there were times that I'm trying to get over to BioLife and, like, my car wouldn't start. Just randomly my car wouldn't start. And I'm just now, let's see, this was back from 2004, 2005. I only did it for like 18 months or so. And it wasn't like every week, but for a while there it was every week. But yeah, back then I'm just now putting it together, but like my car randomly wouldn't start. I'd have all these other conflicts that I just couldn't get there. It just started taking longer and longer and longer. And I think the very last time I donated, it took me 4.5 hours instead of initially it took like an hour and a half, and then it was closer to two, and then and I'm like, why is this? Like, why can these other people just come in, get out? They get their $25, and sometimes it was 30, like if you could do a bonus. And then they're like, oh, if you want to get a tetanus shot, we'll give you $10 extra today. So of course I did that too, and had bad reaction to that. The ignorance of the ignorant, just not knowing what I know now about all this stuff. But it's just and then I start to get what they call white coat hypertension, where my blood pressure would go up and my pulse rate would go up. And if your sitting resting pulse rate was over 100, they would not let you donate that day. And I'd get in there and I'd be so stressed out because I really needed the money, for gas and food and going to college. Just being that broke college student, I needed the money. And so I would I just used to think, oh, I'm hyping myself up because I need the money. And now I'm afraid that if my blood pressure is a certain way or my pulse rate's too high, I won't be able to donate. And like 4 times out of 5, I wouldn't be able to donate when I would hyperfixate on it. But again, hindsight being that 2020, I'm looking back and I'm like, no, this was my body saying, F all this. Let's not do this ever again. Do you know what they're doing with this? Because they are using this weirdly enough I saw like cloning facilities. I saw, I think we've heard the word like, Facebook, or not Facebook, like Google Chrome with the word adreno in front of it. I don't know if you guys have gone down that rabbit hole. Yeah. Of course, this Chrome adreno is extracted in a, I guess, more ethical way than the other way, but still it's we're not being told what's actually, even if you read through all of the terms of and conditions and terms of agreement or whatever to be able to donate, um, it's do we ever read those? Probably not, but, yeah, it's like those whatever blood ties, and I kept hearing there were blood ties that were further binding me to the matrix and keeping me from being able, because what I saw, it was almost like a hot air balloon trying to take off, but it's still tethered to the ground, and that's, what was coming up when I was really tuning into this, and the funny thing is, um Mars, my natal Mars is in Hasta Nakshatra at 7-ish degrees of Hasta Nakshatra in Virgo, exactly opposite of what's going on with the Neptune and Saturn situation. Neptune's about 5 degrees, if I remember correctly, in Vedic astrology right now, and moving backward. Saturn's about 2 to 3 degrees, if I remember correctly, moving backward. Let's see. I did have it up. So 2 degrees Pisces is Saturn, and Neptune is currently 5 degrees 47 minutes, and my natal Mars is about 7. So it's about 2 degrees from this Neptune, but Neptune did go back over my Mars. So it went over it recently and then retrograded back over it, and it's kind of making its way closer now to my Venus as far as like the conjunction, the opposition. Conjunction with Venus, opposition with Mars. There you go. And Mars represents blood. It represents blood ties, blood brothers, right? The masculine energy and blood rituals. Neptune does also deal with rituals. So funny enough that this was all being revealed to me while this exact transit was happening. And I haven't donated there since 2005, like 2004 through 2006, sometime in that frame. 2005 was kind of my prime year of all of this. Very interesting. So yeah, realizations that these contracts, these blood ties, these blood contracts, these blood binds, blood ties, whatever we want to call them, with different romantic things, with my literal blood and plasma, have been released, have been let go. I'm ready to be able to just live my life now. At least a little bit more free than I was, before all of this popped off. So I guess we can thank the matrix astrology for one thing. What goes up must come down, and we're kind of in this downward spiral of a lot of lies, a lot of theft, a lot of soul binding that happened in the past. Now the truth is being revealed. So let me catch up on your comments. We're going to also get into a free collective reading, kind of just tuning into these ties that bind, that are now being released for all of us. Because we probably have also collective of humanity binds that are being released, or at least revealed at this time, and then where our attention goes, energy flows to be able to absolve all of these binds. Okay, so all right, I am going to catch up on comments here. So I was a dum-dum and accidentally sent a money request. The real donation should arrive. That's no worries, Brandylin. It's happened a few times, and it's not a big deal. It's okay. It's easy to do. Brianna's here. Hello. Versha's here. We're almost a half hour in. I probably should have done some shout outs first, but apparently I just need to get right into it today. Oh, you have your sun in the 8th house. So does my husband. He has his sun in the 8th house. He has a Virgo 8th house, though. He's very last degree Virgo sun, almost into Libra. And then my ascendant is 0 degrees of Libra, or very last degrees of Virgo. If you go by the Hellenistic or Babylonian astrology. So either way, basically my husband and I have a ascendant and sun conjunction, or his sun's conjunct my ascendant and vice versa. Jupiter and Saturn's first house with ascendant. Yeah, crazy stuff going on in the collective, trolling. There's so much trolling and bullying. My husband, we were turning on, we were out in traffic, we were turning, and he had his signal on, but we were waiting for a while. So his signal, you know how sometimes, like, I don't know, if you kind of move the wheel a certain way, like your signal will like pop up and it won't be on anymore. Well, there's a guy, we're in this intersection like this, and this guy whether we were going to keep going or turn, he had to wait for us to move out of his way. So my husband turns, and this guy's like, nice signal, guy, body part, you know what, head. And my husband's like, yeah, thanks, bud, because his window was down because it was kind of warm in the afternoon. And then like we're like a road over, and the guy drives by again and goes, male member head again, yells it. And my youngest kid is in the back seat. He's like, why is he mad? Like, what? Like, you mad, bro? Like, and I told my husband, I'm like, that guy, you must have a lot of power over this guy because he just can't stop like giving you his power because he is so triggered because he thought you didn't have your signal on. I mean, literally, if that is all it takes for this guy to get that easily triggered, that my son, was sitting behind my husband, so the guy could clearly see there was a little kid in the back seat because they both had their windows down. So this guy like had no qualms about using that kind of language in front of my 10-year-old, but it's like people be triggered out there. Yeah, tapped into the reality of the festivity that happened for us this week. It's an inverted concept, all built on money concept. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a lot of these rituals, like even like the act of trick or treating, is very much an energy harvesting ritual. So every year since I found that out, I still let my kids do it, but I put very clear boundaries, protections, set intentions, any kind of black magic incantations, anything that's supposed to be going on, I've revoked all of that. So we can now participate just of our pure free will without having the consequences of whatever, sacrilegious, sacrificial, whatever stuff that's going on, because this is sacrifice season. And for like the day of Halloween, let me just type that into my little ephemeris here. Okay, so on the day of Halloween, the sun is in Libra. I know in Western astrology it's already in Scorpio. Yeah, Western, it's already in Scorpio. But the sun on the Halloween is exactly conjunct my Jupiter in Swati Nakshatra in Libra. And Libra is the season of contracts, soul contracts. Contracts bind us, right? Libra it can be, contracts can cover our butt, or they can be the thing that, now we're in trouble because we agreed to some contract. And now whoever is in breach of contract has to own up or pay up in some way. Well, the ones who are in breach of these already illegal contracts is the matrix itself, or these principalities that rule and keep this matrix going. I mean, it's a dead matrix. It's gone. It's dead as far as the energy that it can create on its own. It can't. And when we start to take our power back from it and reprogram ourselves from all the brainwashing and programming that we've been programmed into this false machine, false setup, we start to take more of our power back and, again, can start to exist outside the matrix. I mean, most of us aren't there yet because we still have to play by the money game, the bills game, the tax game, the government game, but there are ways we can take our power back by refusing to, eat their poison food, refusing to take their poison medicine, refusing to participate in their basically already false upon false upon false political systems and politicized agendas and mainstream narratives that they're trying to push. We can opt out, of a lot of these things. And one of the biggest ways that you can use the matrix against itself is by one of the biggest ways that you cast your vote every single day is by what do you spend your money on? What do you spend your time and attention on? These are all forms of currency. We may feel like, well, I have to pay my taxes and I have to do this and I have to do that. But there are ways we can go about it, energetically speaking, to where instead of paying into the matrix, we're gonna set the intention that this money will be used for good or what have you. Kind of playing within the rules of the system, but not being in the system in a way. All right, let's catch up on some more comments. Yeah, I tapped into the reality. Oh, I read that part. Yeah. That's true. I've been getting the hangman a lot. You don't have to do anything as such. This is confirmation. In fact, I felt like destroying more contracts too. And you can just call them up to be destroyed at this time as well. If that's one intention you're setting, is just anything that is binding me, holding me down, holding me, tying me to a person, an organization, a government, a principality, even at different entities, or the Christian God. A lot of people are tied to that entity, which is basically an egregore, um, because it's technically, all these different gods or principalities parading as the God. But the God of the Christian Bible is kind of almost this egregore, or archetype energy that a lot of people to this day are praying to, and same with the Hindu gods and all the stuff, all the different religions, Allah, all this. Um, that when you take your power back, that's one bit of power that helps this system crumble, because again, truth is being revealed not just to those who have the eyes to see and ears to hear, spiritually speaking, but people who have been kind of asleep and closed off, like we all once were in some degree or another. It's happening for these people that you would never think would get it on some level, are starting to get it. Um, Even if it's just in small ways, they're coming alive in ways that maybe you've never seen them. And it's maybe shocking or surprising some of the people that you know, are termed, quote, waking up at this point. It's gonna be cool. Gonna be good. Yeah. Pain in your shoulder a lot and even fingers. Oh my gosh. I missed all the good talk till now. I had pest control here. Oh no. All the time men fall in love with my spirit. Right, right. Oh, problem with males. Yeah, I read that one too. Yeah, it's not limited to love. I felt it extended to them more interest in engaging in physical intimacy. Yeah, it doesn't have even to do with, because people who are purely focused on the physical act of intimacy without the actual intimate, it's not even intimate. A lot of the way that some of these people who are super disconnected from their own spirit, let alone your spirit, um, and they're looking for that sexual gratification in a purely physical way, um, would be terrified of actual intimacy. Like if you were to actually like sit and just like eye gaze with them for like 5 minutes, they'd probably crumble under the pressure and be like, I can't do this. What are you doing to me? I'm just asking you to look into my eyes. Like, people can't do it. A lot of people can't do it. People with autism sometimes can't hold that extended, but it's a completely different thing than what I'm talking about here with someone who just can't be intimate with someone in that way. It's a totally different thing I'm talking about with that. Yeah, but let's see. The message was for me as well. Oh, you are too close to the situation with your husband and Kay. Um, Pull back and the actual picture will be revealed to you. Yeah, yeah, right? It is what it is. I have heard, but I have not donated my blood. Oh, wow. I did. Our BioLife recently closed down. Yeah, again, it was kind of, no pun intended, like a lifesaver to the broke college student that I used to be. I'm like, I need the money. Yeah, misery programming, hopelessness, and the money has been the topic, or the way used in the game. Yeah. Yeah, think of blood money. I used to call it my blood money, which is crazy because, like, yeah, it is. Second time I did it, I fainted mid-donation and was blacklisted. Maybe for good reason, Brandy Lynn. You can look back and be like, yeah, your spirit probably took over. Yep. Same for you, Amanda. Your I am present stepping in. Yep. My sister donates plasma and does it for free. I donated about 5 times in the past for money, but I didn't like how I felt. I hated how I felt. But I'm like, this is just what I got to do. Because I'm already like maximizing all my other resources. I was buying like bags of used clothing and used stuff, mostly clothing, was like kind of my cash cow, so to speak, for resell on eBay. That's what I did in like 2004 through 2008, about like 4 years. And it paid most of what I needed. And when I really hit my stride with it, I didn't need BioLife anymore anyway. So, yes. Looking back, my energy rejected a lot of things that I thought I was deprived of as a child. Yes, same girl, same. Now that I've started to use my power, I realized that my spirit was protecting my wand. Absolutely. Yeah, and even those things that we thought, I want this so much. This was, again, the matrix getting involved, and part of our chart, even like if something's destined to happen, we will be coded, so to speak, to desire to go in that direction to make said thing happen. And sometimes when our spirit steps in to intervene with this matrix or kind of the programming or, the natal chart we've been dealt, um, it feels like we've been victimized or slapped in the face in some way. But then we look back and we're like, oh, thank God that happened. And by God, I don't mean the Christian God, I mean the overall divine energy of love, that exists outside this matrix system. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%, Brianna. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's in the ninth house in Taurus with Sun, Chiron, and Mars. Yeah. Cool, cool. Astrology. I mean, I am grateful that we have astrology so that we can see what the matrix has planned for us, but I'm not that person that considers it a gift from the gods. It's literally the blueprint that they're running on or we're running on in this matrix. It's kind of, I guess, the blueprint, I guess, is the right way to go about it, is like, and not everyone can read a blueprint, right? A lot of people are like, well, what's this? What's that? And very interesting times we're in right now, that's for sure. But we're 40 minutes in. We have a few donations here. So I think 3 donations, yes. So I'm going to get to it. We're going to start with the wisdom of the hidden realms, with Neptune being in retrograde, connected to or very closely conjunct with Saturn retrograde about this karmic energy. Let's just see what we need to know most. And of course, if anyone wants to dive in and see what's being revealed to you or what you need to know about this unveiling that's going on currently during contract season this year, feel free. Okay. This fell into my lap. So the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, and withholding. And this is really, and then there's that 2 energy. So this can be in relationships that some people are feeling this, either feeling more generous or more receptive to the generosity of your partner, or you're withholding that because you're not getting your fair shake. I mean, it can be in any kind of partnership, not just romantically speaking. It could be a soulmate connection, whatever. I'm going to get some clarifiers on this energy here, but what I'm seeing this is what has been withheld from us is now being generously rebestowed, is what I'm hearing, upon us by the divine, because it was our birthright. It was already ours. It was just suppressed or taken or kept back from us, cloaked from us, or we were cloaked from it, cloaked from certain people. It's 11:44 as I say that on my clock here. So what's due us, what's owed us, is being restored little by little. It may not all come in one fell swoop indefinitely into forever, but some rights are being wronged right now. That is definitely for sure. And in such ways that you each will see this play out in positive ways in your life moving forward. Maybe this is just you not stuck in lack mentality as much. Maybe this is new opportunities that were somehow cloaked or hidden from you are now being bestowed upon you. Rise and shine, very sun energy. We have the 56, which adds up to an 11. This very much is giving sun energy in the tarot as well. Ships are coming in, very 3 of Wands energy as well, with her looking out there. And what's going on the side? We have a vase of flowers, a bed. Yeah, it's just like some of you may even be starting your day out on a more solid foundation. This could be rethinking morning routines, or just, I don't know, maybe this has to do with kind of the alignment of those of you that have this happen. I know certain states, I think Arizona for one, for sure, don't have like daylight savings time, but there may be a writing of time. I'm seeing time writing itself, not writing as in like writing something out, but right, like wrongs being righted, time writing itself. Because this is something I tuned into the other day. What used to be when say in the 80s, when I was a kid, what was an actual 24-hour day. You remember how long the days were back then? They were pretty freaking long, especially when you were in school. But I've tuned in. I'm just like, what is going on with time? I've tuned in that what used to be 24 hours that we had in, like, say 1985, 1987, just thinking back to them, especially before 87, because of the harmonic convergence that happened in 87. Something happened with time that it started speeding up more and more, and it's just been speeding up. And then there was another big point around 2012 and another big point around 2020, where time just sped up. We are now operating on about 19-hour days, but it's still somehow stretched out over 24 hours. If you watch the seconds tick by, like when you were a kid, or you go 1,000, 2, 1,000, now it's 1,000, 2, 1,000. Like, it's just watch a timer go by. You're like, how are the seconds ticking by so fast? It never used to be that fast. So much so that it's like we're missing about 5 hours off of a day that was, somehow infiltrated. That's not the right word. But yeah, time was infiltrated. That was very much how we were operating, say, in 1987. So we get 5 hours less per day, like, since especially around 2020. And it was feeling like in 2020 it was close to about 20-hour days rather than 24-hour days. And now since 2020 it's like a 19-hour day. It's just going by way too fast. Like, why? Let's ask why. Why is time speeding up like this? Cosmic question corner. No. Why? Ooh. Okay, this is actually weirdly to our benefit. And on the back of the deck, we have the 10 of Pentacles. This is to break generational curses, trauma, wounds, to actually bring us in alignment. Instead of the families we're born into, come hell or high water, doesn't matter who they are, we're forced to love them, we're forced to participate in their trauma. And instead, we're finding our tribe. It's helping us somehow, energetically speaking, find our tribe, or just be on a different wavelength, is what I'm hearing. And if you think about, like vibrations that are higher, they frequency is spinning faster, right? So it only makes sense. Will we get this time back? Like, that's the weird thing, is like, I just heard time is an illusion, and like laughing. So it's like, it's not like you're losing it, which is weird. Because most people, I mean, you think 10 years back, now 10 years forward, they look a little older, right? Or some people look a lot older. It's weird because I'm hearing, don't worry, you didn't lose it to begin with. Okay. And I just heard glass half full, not half empty, looking at that middle glass there. So it's about the way you look at the time that you do have, and the way you spend your time. You pay attention. You use the resource we call time to your advantage, or to do the things that are actually fulfilling or filling your cup rather than depleting you. And that's not to say that, there are plenty of things that are good for us that feel like they're depleting us in the moment, like working out, for example, or, taking care of your household and your family and your animals and stuff. But doing it in such a way that it is benefiting everyone, not just the other people, that there's some benefit for you as well. All right, what else do we need to know about all of these contracts, ties that bind, that are being let go of? What do we need to know about this? I love this. You can't make this up. I mean, this is exactly it. We have the World card. The world is literally unraveling. It's unraveling. The way that this matrix has been in place is unraveling. And the rights are being wrong. The wrongs are being righted, I should say. The wrongs are being righted. Balance is being restored. Libra season, contracts. They're about to shake hands, it almost looks like, in this card. But this is a win-win scenario, what I was just talking about. Are you doing this? Again, and it's not about, well, if I do this for you, you better do this for me. It's not this contractual, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. This is more energetically speaking, that if this is in my best interest, then dang it, I want what's due and what's owed to me, because it's my birthright. I own it. I am owed it, right? Sorry, I just got a text. All right. Okay. Stupid spam texts, emails, calls, things. Clear. Isn't that what they say? Like, clear. When they do the paddles. All right. Move that out of my way. Distractions. But rights are being wronged, that world is being unraveled, unveiled, closing of an old cycle to start something new. So what is in store for us? What is the new stuff coming in as a result of the unraveling of just this false stuff? Okay, what's in store for us? Being able to see the truth of the temptation, being able to see through the lies, being able to, see the devil do its bidding coming a mile away. And what I love about this card specifically in this position, or in regards to this question, is at the heart of the devil, it is pure creation. It's pure creation. So that pure creative energy is it's available, that maybe in ways that it hasn't been. Because look, pick it up. They have these like collars around them. And what was I saying earlier about like the shackles around, your wrists or your ankles, well, also the neck. Um, but they look very loose on the back. Like, look, it's almost like they're unlocked, and all they need to do is just allow them to slip down and slip away. And they're because this is like the inverted or opposite of the Lovers card. And the Lovers does deal with choice. And a lot of times the devil deals with a choice that we weren't allowed to make, or that was thrust upon us that we didn't choose for ourselves. So that's what's being righted here, or what moving forward, we will be able to kind of flip that devil energy, flip the script on it, and create this like Lovers energy around these past temptations, past, again, the ties that bind in maybe requited love, unrequited love, soul binds, soul ties with people that, either were agreed upon or very subconscious or from a past life. These ties are being loosened. So being in a connection with someone who you once were like soul tied to, and now that these bonds are loosening, it's going to become clearly obvious to at least one party, probably you listening, that I don't have to be in this connection anymore. I can let this friend go. I can let this lover go. I can let this job go, this limiting belief go, whatever the thing is. You can let it go and just let it flow. Wow. Tanya's here. I miss you too. How's your mom doing? I've been thinking about her. Yeah, especially yesterday was 5 years since grandma passed away, and I was just like thinking about all of you guys and just how sad that all is that she's gone, and I miss you. All right. Anything else we need to know looking forward, moving forward, besides just the righting of wrongs, the releasing of these shackles and binds? Oh. So it's giving us a choice again, where we were showing that the devil being a choice that was either thrust upon us or we didn't get the choice to begin with. Now we have a choice. The twos are all about choice. There can be confusion in the choice. Also just feeling very unbalanced now that, certain wrongs have been righted. Why do I keep saying rights have been wronged? Yes, they absolutely have been. But now we're flipping the script. Wrongs are being righted. Wrongs are being righted. But it's almost like, because it's so like the other way around, wrongs are being righted, rights are being wrong, rights are being wrong, rights are being wrong. Like that's like kind of the program that's been put in place, to where now we kind of have to flip the script and be more mindful of, no, wrongs are being righted, not rights are being wrong, but wrongs are being righted. So it's about intentionality and being very present in your energy when you are thinking certain things, or when certain things are going through your kind of hive mind energy, because most, if not all, of what we think is not us. It's not us, and it's not us usually thinking, unless we are actively using our brain to like suss out an issue or be creative. Like that's us actually using that intelligence and the brain energy. But a lot of times these thoughts that just pop in, yes, your spirit can also speak to you through thoughts. So your spirit can be some of these thoughts, but I would say 95% of the thoughts that are just racing through are just entities, hive mind stuff, collective consciousness, your past stuff, consciousness just popping in for whatever reason. And it's not random. It's all by design to keep us, I saw like the eight of swords energy, just to keep us stuck. Again, kind of the lower octave of the devil, that eight of swords energy. And then look how we're moving forward. The Hierophant. It's like we're making new traditions, because this is like the bishop card, or the Pope is kind of like represented, or like the patriarchy would be like the Hierophant energy. So there's a flipping of this energy that's flipping off. Is what I just heard, like a flipping off of this past energy. But we're like shaking it off like fleas off our back, because it doesn't serve anyone anymore, let alone those with a true spirit who are connecting with their own divine alignment. Manifesting dreams. My dreams are coming true. And by sloughing off or sussing out what doesn't serve us anymore and allowing it to be released. And again, the word release, when you lease something, you're paying rent for it, or you're subscribing to it again and again and again. When you release something. So I always have trouble using that word. I say instead like let go, or, don't let the door hit it on its way out. Letting go of these limiting beliefs or ties that bind. For some of you, this can be religious trauma, where you were, or any kind of cult energy that you got into, and a lot like just culture. The word cult is in culture. Just cultural norms can be us being in this literal massive cult. So you're letting go of the things that just aren't in alignment with your spirit. And again, it may not happen overnight in one fell swoop, but there may be really big, significant shifts you're noticing, and also lots of little subtle, smaller shifts as well. Let's get into just anything else we need to know, and then we're going to move into our donation portion. Woo! It almost fell into my lap, but then it kind of caught my hand, twisted up, and I caught it. Mending bridges. I heal rifts. I am a mender. And again, it's not even about having to go in and heal or mend, fix anything that's broken. It's more about restoring the original energy of that rainbow bridge. That's what's coming through. Because I'm almost reading like her hair here, kind of going up this mountain. I'm almost reading this as like a rainbow. I know it's not, and I just heard two faces, Gemini energy. Oh, and that was something I was going to mention earlier too. Wherever your Vedic sign of Pisces is where that Saturn Neptune conjunction is going on. It's in my personal 6th house. So that's why, 6th house deals with the like health or your wellness, and then Mars being directly opposite. That's where I was going with that. And then I went side tangent. Mars being opposite for me, is kind of what triggered like this realization about donating plasma and all the blood ties and blood stuff that they did with that. But anything else we need to know, that we are definitely, again, this is not anything you have to do above and beyond just you acknowledging, okay, something's going on here. Wow. Okay. So yeah. Woo! Got a lot going on here. 2 more. This is slippery energy. So this is something we may have to work at, where what we just talked about, it's just automatic. If you feel the need to go above and beyond, do that. But this may be where we're putting effort or energy in. And this makes sense. This makes sense where we need to put the, work a little harder to put that energy in, to savor pleasure. Embracing the bliss in life is one of the hardest things to do when you've been in survival mode, or, a lot of your life has been in limiting beliefs or poverty, or literally just fight and flight mode. Cortisol spiking, your nervous system is just overreacting. This is one of the hardest things to do when you're in that energy of just survival. It really is. So I can see why this is the slippery energy. For some of you, this is about taking a big everything bath, as my friend Jessica calls it, where you're doing all your self-care, all your rituals, all your, spiritual connection, just physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all the things, mental, all the things. And, using your favorite candles, having your favorite music, or, whatever, any kind of beauty routine that you would do, or spiritual routine, whatever that might look like for you. And then planting seeds. This also fell with that card. And this can be hard because especially look, seeds of grace are being planted in fertile soil of my soul. Well, if the soil on this earth, most of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, is completely denatured or just devoid of nutrients in a lot of ways. So when we're existing in this false matrix and trying to catch those opportunities in this false matrix, we're planting these seeds in infertile soil. So if something does grow, it's usually kind of janky, it's real leggy, looking for the light, like it's really on the struggle bus, even when, you're putting all your heart and soul into something. Well, it might be hard to realize that I don't have to keep planting in this like dirt clod, like just completely devoid of all the microbiota that it needs to really thrive. And instead, let me just look over here. For some reason, I turn to the right, which is your masculine side of your body, maybe to the right of you. For some of you, if you're looking on a map, that might be going east, something like this. But to the east or to the right of you is a better place to be planting these seeds in more fertile soil. And for some of us, when we've just been, substaining or subsisting, that's the word, not abstaining, but subsisting in something that is very much devoid of life, when we do find ourselves back in the flow of life, it can be very disconcerting or unbalancing. And I think that's why this card decided to come out. It can be really unbalancing when you've been in survival mode or, depressed, and then dark night of the soul, and then you come out of that. It's almost like the sun is too bright, right? Or everybody's too smiley, or things are too good to be true, right? But no, we're flipping the script on that. All right, let's go to the money moves. No, this is the what's the news. All right. Anything else we need to know about these vines breaking, veils of illusions lifting, contracts null and void? I just heard make it into a song. Contracts null and void. Wine and dine. Courtship, consistently dating, romance, and passion. So funny, they're each holding a glass. So it's very Two of Cups energy here. Very soulmate energy. But then we have her holding an ice cream in each hand as well. Way more than that girl can eat. Let's just be honest. She's in over her head with all of that. But this feels like a more sustainable by kind of delegating. It's like, yeah, okay, I have all this, but maybe she is bringing that ice cream to like her dad or her mom or her friend or something. She just went up to grab it and is going to deliver it to who it belongs to. And then being able to share the load, share the burden with somebody. You don't have to do this alone, especially if you are overwhelmed and not even knowing where to start. Reaching out to someone you trust, a friend, connecting to your spirit. You don't have to go it alone, just in this human meat suit. You have that help, you have that divine wisdom and guidance. And also for some of you, because of these contracts that were released now, I'm seeing into the future. For some of you, this might even be 5 years into the future. It might be a minute for some of you. There is a better connection, romantically, passionately speaking, in your future that may not even be on your radar right now. And in fact, you may even be in a completely different relationship right now than you will be, say, 5 years from now, to where this may not even register as your message right now. And granted, probably 5 years from now, you're not going to come back and remember this reading. So we'll just plant the seed now in the fertile soil to let you know that it gets better. And it doesn't have to just be the romantic, but just feeling this zest or this passion for your purpose, for your job, for your hobby, for your family, for life itself. I mean, a lot of people just being in this matrix, it just feels, again, so devoid of nutrients and spiritual sustenance that we can just kind of get very apathetic, go through the motions, very Eeyore energy. But your zest for life is coming back. I love that. That might be for just one or two people, that very, very specific message there at the end. But oh, and on the back of the deck, love your body. And that may have to do your zest for life and just feeling like I'm so feeling out of sorts within this matrix, but also within my own body that I just don't feel at home anywhere. Well, your body is getting back to a place, not that in a vanity type of way is like ideal for you, but like the way it feels, the way you move when you're in your body is going to become balanced again. Again, though, for someone watching, it might take a minute to get you there, but you're going to have that passion, that desire, that drive to get back into the body that feels good to you. Or for someone watching for the first time ever, because you've always kind of felt out of sorts in your body, if not physically, more energetically speaking. All right. Okay. So we spilled the tea on all that. Now we're going to update our donation list and get into your guys' donations today. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll go catch up on comments here I don't know that I have many to catch up on, but I think I have a few here. Put these back. Actually might leave these ones out. Gateway Oracle cards are kind of fun, so we will maybe bring some of those out. And of course the answer is simple. We used this one here earlier, so move that back of the deck energy somewhere else. Stick with it came out. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, or keep doing what you're feeling, that evolved energy. I'm just seeing like something you're doing now is going to evolve into something else. Someone watching. So if you feel like you're just hangman energy, spinning your wheels, not even sure what the heck you're doing, and you're like doing more of that, what? But just you showing up every day and doing your best. Again, your best from one day to another can be completely different. But when you're at 20% capacity, your best is your best, you know. And then when you're 100% capacity and you're just like dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, making all the things happen, your best is going to look vastly different than your best at 20%. But you're giving yourself grace at 100% and at 20% and at 0%. I mean, if you're that far down and you're just like, I can barely get out of bed, like, give yourself grace because you deserve it. All right. So we had a donation also come in from Marlene. So let me just go ahead and update our list. I'm going to check email order of operations, who donated first, what, where, who, what, where, when, why. So Brandy Lynn, we're kicking off with you. And then Katie R. I don't know if she's here. Let me check. She'll watch the live stream after work. Okay, so we can actually bump hers back if she's not watching live with us. So we'll do Brandy, then Brianna, then Marlene, then Katie. So I'm going to go ahead and type that all out for all of us. So donation list. I'll leave Brandy off because we're going to jump right into hers. So the degree and Marlene, and then Katie. Boom, there it is. Okay. So let's go to Brandy's question. So, hey, I feel like I got a lot of plates in the air right now. So some general advice for Q4 would be so lovely. See you soon. Yay. Okay, let's do this. So question, lots of plates in the air. General advice for Q4 for Brandy Lynn. What does she need to know? And of course, I will time myself because I've been getting grossly off topic, or not off topic, but like off time frame, the time. Okay, let me find my timer. Okay. This timer that goes off just kind of lets me know time to wrap it up, but I still go past the time. You guys know me. I just can't not go past the timer. I just realized the little plate that goes along the bottom fell off, probably in my dishwasher or something. I'm gonna have to go find that. I did see that you emailed me. I actually saw that this morning. I have not checked my that specific email for a hot minute. It looks like you had emailed me on Thursday, so I'm going to dive into that email today. So thanks for emailing me. Yes, I will catch that email today. I will. As in wheel energy. Okay. I have not started the timer yet because we have not got into it, but I'm about to. So Q4 for Brandy. And now I can start. Okay. Q4 for Brandy. What does she need to know? Lots of plates in the air. What does she need to know right now? Ooh, okay. So yeah, I can definitely see, maybe not overwhelmed in just like everything, but like just maybe even overwhelmed in deciding. Like this feels like decision fatigue to me more than like physical. Not to say that physically there's a lot of things you could be doing that need to be done or should be done or you want to do, whatever the case may be. That could also be going on, but I really see like a decision fatigue, like, you know, what is the best way forward? What should I do? This decision fatigue really does feel like it's coming to an end, and there will be some massive spiritual downloads coming between now and November 10th. That date specifically came up, which is still a minute away, but between now and then, nice first pull, right? Between now and December, November 10th, there is kind of this epiphany, this aha moment that is going to shift your energy in such a way to where it's going to feel like, the spoons you have available or the time that's available for you, or the projects that you want to focus on. Something's going to open up to where you will have dedicated time to be able to do what it is you're setting out to do. And just getting a game plan in place to act as kind of that foundation or baseline for you is going to be key here. And knowing, I think we all, those of us that are planners, or, we like to kind of have an idea or, set some goals and stuff. A lot of us, me included, me like probably at the top of the class, overdo it, or we over kind of promise and under deliver on what it is we can actually do with the time we actually have available. Uh, I sit right at the front of the class on that. I always like bite off way more than I can chew with goals. But for you specifically, Brandy Lynn, this is about just kind of making yourself a goal. And this feels very much like what you do with your free time. So this could be, writing, hobbies, passions, something fun that you can really sink your teeth into. But giving yourself dedicated time, even if it's not like scheduled out, but just knowing, okay, I need to plan at least one day this week to have this much time to work on this thing, or to just veg out with this fun game, or, whatever the case may be. Yeah, but I do see some major clarity coming to even knowing like what direction, which plate do I focus on? They're all spinning up in the air, and like, what do I do? So all of this just fell to the ground, and we have the Three of Wands. So it's going to be, it's weird though. I'm not even saying the slippery energy here is going to be absolutely difficult. It's just more of you holding yourself accountable to yourself to be able to follow through on the things you want to do, rather than the things you just have to do and know you got to do, so you do them. But then the things you want to do kind of go back burner, back burner, back burner, back burner. You're bringing them front burner, front and center. So you're going to be able to move forward with this. And then we have the Ace of Wands and Knight of Wands. They did come out in reverse, but this, what I'm seeing again, because of this decision fatigue, it's not that your ideas and being able to move forward with your ideas isn't going to happen. It's more you second guessing yourself, or like, this feels like a big undertaking. Like, where do I even begin? Kind of almost getting in your head and really almost talking yourself out of doing something that you want to do before you even do it is kind of how I'm reading this energy. And how can you, because I'm seeing this is easily avoided, but I want to tune in, get some cards, tune in. How can Brandy Lynn avoid talking herself out of doing the things she wants to do? That's my exact problem right now. I mean, the cards don't lie. They really don't. Okay, just get started. It doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming amount of time that you're spending on it. This is just dedicated time, just dipping your toe back into the pool, so to speak. Oh, with things going back burner, right? Yeah, for sure. And this is, again, it doesn't mean you need to dedicate a whole day to the things that you want to do going back burner, but bringing them front and center to where now I only do the things I want. Screw all of you guys. You do what you need to do. I'm busy right now. You don't have to go that extreme, but this is just about following through, making even just a small plan. And I'm seeing like the snowball rolling down the hill. So it's almost like stepping your toe back in with things you want to do, even if it's just a little, a few minutes a day, or one day a week, or, 3 hours a week in one dedicated time chunk, or however you want to parse that out. But this really is about you just kind of even doing like a brain dump of all the things you want to do and how it makes you feel thinking about doing them, or thinking about never being able to do them. That's just as important as kind of following through down that daydream rabbit hole of, ooh, what would it be like if I did this thing? Well, what would it be like if you didn't and you never got to do that thing? And then how would that make you feel? And kind of just journal or brain dump all of how that would make you feel. Because sometimes, for me personally, that's motivation enough. Like, I'm never going to become a published author if I don't effing sit down in the chair and start writing. And that's not even the goal, to become a published writer. That's not even my goal. My goal is to get my story completed and polished and ready, not for everyone else, but for me. And then to be able to publish that and put that out in the world, and kind of, that's on you guys. Like, if anyone wants to read it, that's cool. But I want to do it first and foremost for me. The publishing journey is for me. So I don't know if we're specifically talking about writing here. It does feel very uh, relevant, like just this writing or just trying to be creative in whatever capacity that you're wanting to do that's kind of maybe been back burner for you lately, just bringing that front and center again. Even if it's just a little bit at a time, stepping a toe in, then, the ball of your foot, then, your heel, then your ankle, then your mid calf. Oh no, now I'm waist deep. I even skipped the knees. I'm waist deep right now because I'm like so in this right now. I'm seeing like a snowball. Like you get back in something that you're really passionate about. And before you know it, you're making the time. And it's not even, again, like we were talking about time, it's like you're not losing time, even though we got 19 days, 19 hours in a day, and 19 days in a day. That would be great. 19 hours in a day instead of 24, that it feels like time just speeding up. You're still making time work for you, or you're not missing out on anything. It's all going to happen when it needs to. Thus, reading will make all the sense when you get a chance to read the. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Yeah, this feels very much like, okay, I got this. And the first few times you're back on that horse, so to speak, you're kind of like, am I gonna fall off? Am I holding on correctly? Is the saddle loose? Like, metaphorically speaking. But once you hit that stride and you get in that gallop, you're like, oh, this is what it's all about. I'm not a horse girly. I like horses. I think they're amazing and beautiful creatures, but so I don't know. Am I even using the right horse lingo? I don't know. I do know the boy that I had the unrequited crush on years and years and years ago, the backdoor neighbor guy. Growing up, they had a horse, and that horse I don't know if it was the color of the flaming orange hair that I had back then, or what, but that horse would spot me in my yard and come running. It would not walk, but run from whatever it was doing to our side of the fence where my yard was, to have me come and hang out with her. And I miss that horse. They sold the horse. Like, I think I was about 12. I cried, you guys. And I wouldn't even back then have considered myself a horse person, but I was a Starlight person. That's what I called her. I never knew her actual name. I called her Starlight. And I think that's Rainbow Bright's horse's name. And I think that's why, probably. If I remember correctly, I think Starlight is Rainbow Bright's horse's name. But it was a white horse with kind of a grayish black, darker gray colored mane and tail. Beautiful horse, maybe not a beautiful horse, like as far as like the most majestic horse I've ever seen, but beautiful in spirit. That horse was like, we were soulmates, I think. I swear to God. Yeah. Again, did not know her real name, but she was so magical to me. Oh. All right. Anything else? Timer went off, but we're going. We're going to finish this up. Well, this came out in our collective reading, and this was what I was looking at, as like, finding that balance, just even bringing a little bit of those back burner things to the front and center for you is going to be key. Even if it's literally 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week, whatever you want to start with, just start incorporating it. And before you know it, you have a routine built up, even if it's slightly different week to week, day to day, whatever to whatever. You're finding that stride of, if it's been a few days since you've been with your front burner project, because we're now calling it front burner project, whatever that is, that you are starting to miss it, and even when you're not with that project, you're brainstorming about it, or it's in the back pocket, not on the back burner, but like in your back pocket, like you're taking it with you, mentally speaking. And downloads. I see a lot of downloads going back to those first two cards you got with the overwhelm and kind of decision fatigue, and then the judgment card. Downloads coming in. So any downloads you get, even if it's a big download about whatever this is, write it down anyway. Even if you think there's no way I'm going to forget that, write it down anyway. Because there's some big energy coming in the direction that you're passionate about in Q4, that's going to lead you into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 of next year, that you're kind of catching this momentum that you haven't had for at least 2 to 3 years of really good momentum with this thing that you're going to be super excited about. Yeah. Even if it's not the exact thing you were working on back then, the energy, the spirit, the desire, the excitement about working on something that you had 2 to 3 years ago. And then I'm seeing even like 2018, 2017, something around those years. But it was weird because it's like 2018, and then looking back into 2017, like I can see the roots of that growing into this little blossom of what it became in 2018. Something specific. So yeah. Can't wait to read your email to make all this make sense, because I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But hopefully you do. Hopefully you do. That's the beauty part of the cards. Like, I'll just read what's there and they'll tell me what I need to know when I need to know it. Alrighty. So that was for Brandy Lynn. We did have another donation come in from Florence as well, full read. So I'm going to copy our list. Brianna, you are next, my dear. So we're going to get right into your question. And I'll put Florence before Katie because Katie is at work. And we'll watch it later. Okay. There we go. Let me copy and paste. Okay. Perfect. Brianna, she's bringing the thunder. I don't know why I needed to say that, but I did. And then I saw a lightning bolt. So I don't know if that's relevant to you or your reading, or it's just spirit being funny. I don't know. But we're going to get into this. Get my timer ready, and then we will read one card pull. But the 1515 has been all over me since I came into the room. Currently on day 3.5 of my mucus-free juice fast, and I am so proud of myself. You will have to send me that protocol, because that's every time I read that, I get chills. I'm like, I need to do this. What is this? Will you channel a message related to my fast and what the divine realm wants me to hear right now? Okay. I'm already hearing downloads. I know we kind of ended Brandy Lynn's reading with downloads. I'm getting a very similar vibe for you. The downloads are real because the clarity that you're getting is intense, because the chills just, yes, electrified. I just heard from Grease Lightning, not that, but that song, I got chills, they're electrifying, or something like that. Something. Let me look it up. Multiplying. They're multiplying. That's right. Let's see the lyrics. Oh, it's "You're the One That I Want" from Grease. So I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, but I'm hearing in the best possible way. Because the power you're supplying, that's your spirit. It's electrifying. You better shape up, because I need a man. Again, this is very much very much divine masculine, your own divine masculine. This is not a love song to some random, you're the one that I want. No, this is you. This is your own energy that you're preaching to here. I love that. Yes, the control of the matrix is leaving me. I feel it, girl. Yes. Yeah. Look at that. It's unraveling right before your very eyes. And even something to do with some like family ties, or interestingly enough, okay, so I'm seeing with this mucus-free fast that you're doing, there is a karmic clearing of something going on in your DNA that was passed down from your father's side, interestingly enough. I know a lot of times we more tune into your mom and all that. Now you're going to be singing it all day. I know, me too. It just gets stuck in my head. And I haven't seen Grease since probably high school. I had the soundtrack in high school, and I just blast it and drive up and down the street in my hometown like a weirdo. All right. Yeah, so there's definitely this clearing, cleansing that's taking place, and it's compound. I just heard compounding interest. Interest as in, ooh, I'm really interested in that, but interest as far as what's owed you because of the suppression that has been locked down on your family and bloodlines. It will return to you plus interest. And that includes spiritual connection that's been, I heard, whitewashed. And interestingly enough, that's kind of a term that's used like to kind of take the ethnicity, the uniqueness, the just authenticity out of something, and just making it very generic or commercialized, or just easier to digest for a greater amount of people. But you're kind of doing the opposite of that, and you're taking it back to your roots. And I just saw, like, like those, like, what's that called? Like pop and lock dance? Like, I don't know. There's something with, I heard rigid. It's interesting because it's like the timer's going off, but I'm like having no need for the cards right now for some reason. It's like Not that I do a lot of the time, stuff just comes through, but like a lot of people are like, well, I paid for a tarot card reading. Now get it going. Yes, like colonize, like I even heard bastardize, hybridize, even transmuted and alchemized, certain rituals, certain um, ways of operating, certain just knowledge that was passed down, wisdom was passed down, down the line that was kind of hijacked in a way. Yes, a lot of it by colonization and just this making everyone the same, trying to make everyone the same. It's like, let's allow ourselves to have the differences that we have and express that unique authenticity and like have appreciation for people who are different than us than trying to like we're all exactly the same. Like that's boring. I love someone with my north node in the ninth house. I love other cultures. I love just hearing about other people's stories and just seeing the just depth of the wisdom and knowledge that comes from all these different places in the world. Like to me that is just the most fascinating thing. But when people try to like, again, it's kind of like politically correctness and stuff, like I'm all for like respecting people, but like sometimes they politically correct things so much that we lose the nuance and the expression and the uniqueness and the spirit that so many different sects and tribes and different types of people can bring to this really colorful, bountiful world that we have access to when this matrix is in control. And people can appreciate and love and acknowledge these differences rather than make them othered because of it. That's something that's being restored to you. It's actually a very powerful message, and I just have chills, 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 chills. They're multiplying. And especially something with your father's family line back and back and back and back that was taken. And it's weird because it's like this knowledge was taken, and it's not that you guys lost access to the knowledge because it was taken. It was more that them, as in the matrix, the principalities, knowing wisdom of this, they hijacked the meaning behind it or the ritual behind it or just the intention behind it for their own, again, bastardization of someone's authenticity. Literally got lied to, cheated on, stolen from you. Even if you still had access to it, it's almost like the power that was behind it once is now being redirected or rerouted and not just used for your people, is what I'm seeing here. The people in the family, the people in the tribe, the people connected in the community. Ugh, it's so gross. It's so gross. It just makes me want to like scream. But look, there's a new beginning here that you're bringing it back. You're bringing it back in action. So just because, and look, he's selling some lemonade here, but the funny thing is it's like kind of like a juice cleanse or like mucus-free juice cleanse or whatever it is that you're doing. This is part of the initiation of bringing this, or to clear your vessel enough to allow this pure divinity to come back that was once readily available to the people in your ancestry, especially again on that father's side, that's going to be readily available to you yet again. All right, I know we went over the time, but let's get one more. Anything else? Anything else Brianna needs to know about this juice cleanse and the results and downloads? Just anything else? You decide the outcome. And look, old white man in his powdered wig trying to make decisions for the greater good of everybody. It's like, no, I'm taking my power back from the patriarchy. I'm doing things my way in alignment with the ancestors, not the ancestors that were hijacked and basically in survival mode, but the ones that had access to that pure divinity before all that shit happened. And sorry for the swearing, but there we are. Yes, queen. Taking power back from that inverted masculine and reintegrating it through the divine masculine. Wow, that's pretty powerful. So keep doing what you're doing. Yes, magic, magic, magic. Absolutely, that is exactly why I'm doing it. You are doing the right thing. You really are. You really are. So you are following that inner light, that inner voice that is directing you exactly down the path that is going to bring you in alignment in ways that your generational lines have not been in alignment for a very long time. and it's like the gifts that were once available, readily available. You read me down. Yes. Those gifts that were once readily available are slowly and steadily becoming readily available to certain people, specifically you in this family line, because you're doing the thing. You're doing the work, you're connecting, you're in alignment. So the more in alignment you can get, the more good is coming to realign you to the even greater divine alignment. And it's just going to compound. Again, that compound interest, that Seven of Pentacles, where it was, yes, your patience is kind of key here, but also the Seven of Pentacles to me is very much a card of nurturing, of tending to the garden of life that you're creating, just to keep everything really beautiful. Oh, email me the link. I would appreciate that. That sounds amazing. Thanks again, Brianna, for your donation, and I hope that resonated for you, my dear. Oh, you posted up above too. Oh, perfect. Okay, I just may not be seeing it for some reason. I don't know if there are links blocked or something on here, but yeah, I will share that with people because I'm not seeing anything up there, but I will share that if you want me to. I can totally do that. Okay, so up next we have Marlene. So go ahead and post your question, Marlene, for one card pull. You guys know me; it's never one card. Here I am, just going right over my my timers every step of the way. I'm trying to keep on track, but you know me, it's never going to be on track. All right. So here we go for Marlene. And then Florence, you are on deck after that. I think Florence already had posted her question, so we'll get into that. And then we have a spot for Katie. All right, for Marlene, any messages I need to hear right now from my highest self that can give more clarity on my life at this moment? All right, let's get those messages from your highest self for Marlene. Ooh, yes. Ooh, so it's like, ooh, wants to come through, wants to come forward. So this really does feel like a zest for life. I mean, yes, you have a romantic partner, all of that fun stuff, and that can also absolutely be reflected in your connection with him. But this very much feels like romanticizing life, or this like zest for life that's kind of been missing. Where kind of we were tuning, I believe it was in our collective, slightly toward the end, if I remember correctly, of just feeling like apathetic or just kind of this blah with the way life can go. And not to say there aren't bright moments and what have you, there are. But just feeling like every day is magical and like the birds are singing and the rainbows are out. And, we all know life isn't like that consistently, but it feels like there's a return of happiness, abundance, just this zest for life that's maybe been missing for a while now. And this feels like about 2011, 2012, something that happened in that time that feels very much like a very happy thing for you, but it kind of what's the word? Like it rerouted you, or it made the way you show up in life completely different because you're like a whole new version of yourself after something that happened around 2011. Oh, it could be something to do with becoming a mom or a wife. I don't know, something that felt like a big milestone for you in a way that completely reshaped the way that you were into who you are now. Not to say it was a bad thing. It just, it brings up a lot of things. Yeah, it does. It really does feel related to becoming a mom. But also something with mom, like a mother energy for sure. That's when I felt pulled away from my mom completely. Okay. Yeah. And how heartbreaking that was. Yeah. And if you became a mom either before or after, sometime during that, it somehow still also plays a role. But yeah, it was just life as a grown up. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's just see anything else Marlene needs to know right now. But there's something that felt like pieces missing or pieces broken. Oh, so it was right between having those girls. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But something like you're picking up the pieces and you're still having to like navigate life as you pick up the pieces of your heart, sadness, again, just trying to move forward in life in a new way, doing things a new way. But this is coming full circle because a lot of what you felt you lost back then is coming back to you tenfold as a gift now, which is really powerful. Very complicated relationship with my husband. Yeah, this all makes so much sense. Yeah, it's almost like not one thing can be extracted out of the equation. Like it's all like woven together very intricately into this cluster F, for lack of a better word, of just energetic soup of I love my life, I love my kids, I love my family, but like something's got to change. And the way things have been, I've been hurt. This has been crazy. Just all of it just kind of came to a head around this time. But again, things you felt you lost during that time are being returned to you. We got slippery energy. It's fallen down. Ugh, we'll grab it. Here we go. So this is what you're, I guess, being asked to do at this time is to just relax, take some time off, take some time out if you can, but it's slippery energy. So it may feel like, well, I'm just like in the thick of life right now, as most moms are at any given day of the year, of the week, of the month, of the life. But to take very dedicated time out for yourself. And I do love this. You're being able to progress or move forward in some way that you weren't able to back then, because we're moving from this 3 of Swords into the 4 of Swords. And there is a sense of healing that goes on with the 4 of Swords that just wasn't available to you back then. Or even that hindsight being 2020 about something that now you're getting some downloads. And I'm now hearing refer back to the collective message that we had earlier. Because some of this is coming up or has relevance for what you have going on. I thought I saw like a black spot up there, but it was just my hair, I think. I'm like, is there a spider in here? And then I just heard Along Came a Spider, which I think is a book by somebody. They turned it into a movie. Oh, and then we have a celebration here. So yeah, this is leading to a celebration. Let me see who wrote Along Came a Spider. And I don't even know what the book's about. Along Came a Spider book. James Patterson, which he's a pretty well-known guy. It was his debut novel. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'll just read the premise of it, just so you know, just from Goodreads. Okay. Yeah, I don't ever do the AI whatever. I always do the, I'm doing the Goodreads kind of synopsis of it, but let's see. Debut novel in James Patterson's Alex Cross series, including the forensic psychologist and homicide detective. Thriller follows Cross as he hunts a psychopathic serial kidnapper and murderer named Gary Sonegi, who is terrorizing Washington, D.C. The case becomes a race against the Sonegi kidnaps 2 children from a private school, and Cross must work with the Secret Service agent Jesse Flanagan to catch him. Interesting. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's just see. What does this have? What is the relevance here? Oh gosh. A lot. There's a lot for some reason. Well, the first one I saw was the High Priestess. So being able to see through the illusion. And it's not like this is going to happen to your family. None of that. This is more like the darkness that operates in this world, because that's kind of what this series sounds like. It's about a kidnapper and maybe some psychopathic stuff going on. I mean, what is this Matrix but psychopathic? Being able to walk away or put that kind of stuff behind you, see beyond it, not fall for the okie doke of what's going on around this crazy place. There's that mother energy again. Choosing different timelines and then being able to feel really good in love in life and love of life, and with the love of your life, your kids, your husband, your family, and just, I don't know if there has been or was healing with the mother energy between you and your mom, but that looks like that is something that is possible or has been possible as a result of all the stuff you went through in the past. Or even just coming to this agree to disagree energy with your mom. That's maybe it's like, it's almost like it's irrelevant or kind of neither here nor there. The fact that, you know, that happened. Yeah, it happened, but just saying like move to another place or moved in another direction to where you can like have that connection without the sadness, you know, just having a better connection. Okay. So I hope that resonated for you, helped you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, shift to the world being darker and scarier place. Yeah. That might be what that along came a spider was kind of referring to, is like that past just world being a dark and scary place. Absolutely. Full question, screenshot and text. PayPal was not accepting the full text. It usually doesn't. It likes to play games. So yes, I can totally timestamp that for you as well, Versha. Hello, Pika Lee. Good to see you as well. Yes, it has been a minute. May not be in the chat. Lunch break. I wish everyone a beautiful day. Yeah, I can timestamp for you as well. So I'm going to add you and Versha to our donation list. Let's just see the order of operations here. So we have Florence, Versha, Pika Lee. So I will write this down. So Florence. Oops, I already have a list copied. I just need to paste it and update it. And we have Katie as well. So we did Marlene. So we have Florence. Perfect. And if I think Versha had mentioned she was picking Kashvi up. I thought I saw that somewhere. I don't know. Maybe. I keep thinking I saw something that I didn't, maybe. Anyway. Oh, she is here. Okay, cool. So we have Florence, which I'm not sure if Florence is still here or not. So I will just go ahead and timestamp. Why not? I have a few other ones to make anyway. So we will go ahead and timestamp whoever wants one. And of course, if you're here and want a timestamp, just let me know before the reading starts and I can easily write it down. Just a matter of me remembering to actually put the timestamp in once the live stream's over, because usually I go have lunch and go about my day, and then before I know it, it's like midnight and my eyes pop open like, I never put the timestamp up. Not all the time, but sometimes I do that. Okay, so 141.59 for Florence. And I'm going to scroll up and try to find her question here. Wasn't too far away, I don't think. Maybe. Okay, no, that's not it. I see a deleted. It says, let's see. I thought I saw it. Okay, now I'm losing my mind for sure. She says, hello, everyone up here. And that was during Brandy's reading. And then I thought she had posted a message, but then I see it says message retracted. So Florence, oh, there she is. There she is. Yay. Okay, she's still here. So yeah, go ahead and let us know what your question is, because it looks like it somehow was retracted. So if you want to post that out right now, we'll get right into it for you, my dear. Take a quick drink of water. Okay. Yes, I will still timestamp. We got you covered. I should probably write your name beside it so we know whose timestamp. Okay. Alrighty. I'm feeling like moving or changing tarot decks, so we're going to do that. I did listen to it, and there was a lot going on in my house while I was listening to it, so I might have to go and re-listen, because I think I missed most of what she was talking about. But I remember the message being pretty darn powerful, but I didn't fully digest what all she was talking about, because there was like chaos going on around my house. I was trying to cook dinner, kids are running around, dogs are running in and out, fun time with the mud pit out back. Like, yes. Yeah, I still have it on my to watch list, even though I did watch it, to watch again, because I'm like, I don't know what I just listened to. But I know it had something to do with the Divine Feminine for sure. Because I feel that Divine Feminine rising. So cool. All right. So Florence, we will need a question from you because I'm not seeing that one up top anymore. And I didn't even read it to know what it said. So, oh, the question is above the comment magic. Oh, the comment magic, magic, magic. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm not seeing it. I'll show you what I'm seeing. I'll take a screenshot so you can see what I'm seeing. I don't know. Maybe the chat, as in YouTube itself, is playing games with me today. I can actually use my camera roll to do things like take pictures. So I'm going to do that. This is what I have in my... There's her comment of magic, 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 and that's what's right above it. And I keep scrolling up, and I don't see you until I see this. I'll show you so you can see what I'm seeing here. These are the only two that I see from you up above any of that. If you can see. Oh, and then the video I was watching before we started. So, where did it say? Oh, right here. Message retracted. So it either got deleted by you or someone else, potentially. Man, sorry, I didn't mean to make you have to... Can't repost it from my phone. Oh no. I'm wondering, could you type it out again or email me maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll write it out again. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. Stranger things have happened here, that's for sure. But as long as, knock on wood, we don't get the trolls coming in, I can deal with just about anything else. I can also deal with the trolls, but I just, who wants to deal with trolls? You know, nobody. I usually like have a little bit of fun with it these days, though. I'm just like, oh, you want to troll in here? Well, that's not today, Satan. No. Bye. We haven't had troll activity in a hot minute. I don't want to like call it in, that's for sure. But PayPal was not taking my question, so I wrote it on a Word document and sent a screenshot to Amanda. There you go. I mean, we got to do what we got to do. Mercury isn't even retrograde yet. It does go retrograde soon, sometime in November, I think. Let me just double check. We'll just, while we're waiting for Florence, we can check when Mercury is going retrograde. Okay. November 9th through the 29th. Yes. And do yourself and all ourselves a favor, because this is the first response you get. I just, without even reading it, even if it would be helpful, I just scroll right past it. And I went down here. Old Farmer's Almanac told me the same information. I don't need AI to summarize my search for me. They're saying now already, and they just, correct me if I'm wrong, this AI feature has been less than 2 years, as far as I know, maybe a year. Not that long, right? They're saying now 70% of Google searches end right here. People aren't clicking through to websites anymore. I'm saying I don't want that to be my internet experience, so I'm not even going to pretend that exists. I just scroll right through it, right past it, and go to the first relevant, like back in the day, the first relevant link that I see, or the one that kind of intuitively is pulling me to get the information, I will go that way. Yeah, like The Guardian, Rolling Stone, a bunch of other like bigger like journalistic publication sites are like suing or wanting to sue. I don't know like what the status is, wanting to sue Google because they're losing significant revenue because they're using the information on said websites or said journalistic sites to do an AI overview, and then they're not getting the click through for the advertising and all that would be on like, you know, The Guardian or rollingstone.com or whatever. And it's not just these journalist places, it's small businesses that are, you know, or blogs, like, people aren't getting the hits on their websites that they once were by a lot, and it sounds like I was listening to what was I listening to? Something was talking about how oh, I forget her name. I forget her name. But basically she was saying, this affects everybody. This isn't just big business and whatever, big corporations. This affects ma and pa. This affects all of us. Yeah, Google search is all messed up because of AI. It's so annoying to search. Yeah, I can't find anything. And even it used to be like millions of hits on whatever, you look up glass, the word glass, or the word salt lamp, or the word cards. I don't know. Look up a word and you would have millions, if not billions, of search hits results along the bottom. It's like X amount of search results. Now you have like 10 pages, if that, and there's like 10 per page, and they're all like big corporations are first. Or like if you're looking for information about like something and there was any kind of news story on it, you'll have like Fox News, ABC News, C News, MSN, whatever news, all those newses before like any kind of personal opinion or anything come up. It's not the internet we once knew at all. Not at all. Let me see. I was gonna look on. Is it? Let's see. Sorry, stand by. We will get into Florence's question, I promise. We're getting there. Okay. Is it? So I just use, like, when I go to the internet, I just use this little Safari icon on my iPhone. I probably should download Yandex, which is a different search engine. It's like Google, but different. So let me just type in tarot cards in the Yandex search engine. Would you look at that? No AI overview. So I think what I'm going to do for myself personally, you guys can do what you want. I think I'm going to download the Yandex search engine and put it right here as the app, like the app, and put it right here. And that will be my new, and then I can bypass Google altogether by not using Safari. I mean, I could technically use Safari to get to Yandex, to get to, but to simplify my life, I'm just going to move Safari internet browser off of my main dock and put Yandex right there, so I can just go to Yandex anytime I have a question and I don't need to bother with Google. There are ways around it. We can do it. All right. Yeah, it really is all messed up. I know. AI is, I did a whole special on AI last week before, somewhere in there. It's like the root of AI is demonic. You can go check it out if you missed it. It's pretty informative. Not to say we can't use something artificially intelligent for like crunching numbers, like a calculator, or, proofreading things, but like for it to literally take over our thought process or dumb us down or tell us this is what you need to know, that's scary. That to me is scary. Yeah, I'm downloading Yandex browser as I type. There you go. Yeah, that's definitely on my to-do later list, and we're gonna get it done. I'm gonna give Florence a new timestamp because that was 1:41:59. We are now at 1:52:58. So I'm going to update that timestamp for you, my dear, and we'll get into your question. 53:06 now. Perfect. Okay. Preach. But see, where we spend our time and pay attention, where our energy goes, our attention flows, energy goes. There you go. So if I'm using Google, I'm basically saying, keep doing what you're doing, Google. Thumbs up. Well, I don't agree with it, so I'm gonna maybe stop using it. And I've used Google since Google became a Google, and it was like widespread. So, oh well. Goodbye, Google. I mean, I'm literally on Google right now, and Google gives me a paycheck every 3 months or so. Whenever I hit over $100 on my accounts, it comes very infrequently. So like all hell Google, but no. Okay. For Florence, let's get into it, my dear. So she says, I've been working a lot on balancing my female and male energy and ancestral healing, and was wondering how that will play out in my next romantic relationship. So how my next romantic relationship will be like, and what time frame it will come into my life. Sorry for the question, is a bit messy. No worries, no worries. All right. So let's tune into, with all this work that you've done. Oh, and I will set my timer to try to stay on track, relatively speaking, because we know I can't stop, won't stop, apparently. Where's my clock? Can't stop. Something about the clock. Something. Was that Kesha? TikTok on the clock. DJ blow my speakers up tonight. Is that how it goes? I don't know. Kesha song from back in the day. I think it's called TikTok, like a clock, not the app. Okay. For Florence, with this healing that you've done, wondering how this will play out in your next romantic relationship. All right. So we have the Queen of Cups. So this is definitely going to put you more in your feminine energy, where you're being the one who is being pursued. I know that sounds kind of predatory. I'm being pursued. But this is going to put you in alignment with a masculine energy of somebody who's going to be mostly the one pursuing you rather than the other way around. So you will definitely get initiation on his part a lot, like, let's meet up, let's go on a date, let's do this, let's do that. And of course, you could say no or yes or whatever, but it's not you being the one to suggest to do this or that or travel or meet up or whatever. This person that's going to be your next relationship is going to be much more of an initiator, much more of a go-getter as far as pursuing you and going after you and wanting to be with you, rather than maybe potentially how in the past it might have been the other way around. So we do have some slippery energy here. So there may be more work you're doing between now and this next partnership coming in. Okay. So a lot of the anxiety, stress, worries, and fears that you once had, it did come out in reverse, just won't even be an issue anymore, especially because the masculine in the connection is going to be much more in a leadership position. Not to say that you're just going on the whim of whatever this guy wants to do, what he wants to eat, where he wants to go. Not like that, because you're being able to share your heart, your ideas, who you are, and he's feeling very inspired to take care of, your wishes, your desires, because you're expressing how you feel and what you would love to do, and it's almost like his pleasure to be able to accomplish all these things that you want to do, especially where travel's concerned. Travel's a big thing for him as well. And it's like his pleasure to be able to take care of travel plans or paying for trips, this kind of thing. It's like this person also feels very much more spiritually on your level, more so than many people from your past, where you're up here spiritually and they're just like in the trenches of like the Matrix in ways. But other people may have been more spiritually evolved, but just physically weren't earning enough money to even really put a roof over their head. Like, there were certain things where it was very imbalanced in the masculine that you were attracting at the time, that now like kind of feels like a lot of that effort or energy that you had to pour into someone because they couldn't pour it into themselves, you don't have to do that anymore. So it's like you're almost inspiring the masculine that's coming forward in a future connection to step up into that leadership role, to where it's like you can just be who you are and express yourself and tell them how you feel. And it's like they're just so much on the same wavelength that makes them want to take care of you. And it may even look like in a very traditional way that's like, this person wants to be like the provider for you. Even if you can provide for yourself and do all this and that, it's almost like, well, I got you. Like, I'll pay all the bills, I'll do this, I'll do that. And you can still earn money and stuff, and that's fine. But like, I got us. Like, you're good. You can do what you want. Like, it feels like a freedom. And this might still be a few years out. It still feels like there's, again, with the slippery energy of these two falling down, it feels like this still may be a few years out, but there's healing you're doing in the meantime that is going to really draw or magnetize this connection in. And it may even, again, travel may be a big theme with what you have going on with this person. So it may be that at first you guys are maybe dating at a distance, or you're communicating at a distance. But he doesn't want to just be this like long distance thing. If that is the case, this could also just indicate that you you meet locally, but you both are like really into travel and wanting to travel and experience things. Let's put these back and just see when this will come or what time frame this will come into your life. Let's just see when this may be. But it does feel very much like elevated, like next level type of connection. It's not you dealing with someone where you're almost like having to over communicate to get this person to even say one or two words in your direction. Is kind of the end. If it's not exactly like that, like energetically speaking, it felt like you were showing up, you know, as they say in the dating scene, like, what do you bring to the table? And here's Florence. She's bringing the table. She's setting the table. She's bringing the food. She's setting up the chairs. And all this person that maybe in the past that you were dating, all they did was show up and enjoy everything that you had spread out in front of them. And this time it's going to be different. This time you can just be yourself and show up. And yes, maybe you're bringing some things here and there, but you're not the like driving force making this connection happen. And then when you pull back, the connection falls apart because the other person is just not really there or not really in it. That is going to shift significantly to where you're feeling this person energetically on the other line or on the other end of this connection. In a big way that you haven't felt in a very long time from someone romantically. It just feels weirdly, it feels like effortless energy. Like you're just, it's so effortless. Like you just show up, you connect, you communicate a lot, and like the next thing leads into the next thing, into the next thing. And it's not like pulling teeth to try to figure out like, what's the next step? Do you want to come visit me? Like it's a lot of these like, in the past, it felt like almost stalling tactics by the person you were involved with or interested in just are not there in your future connection. I still want to get that time frame. I know we ran out of time, but I want to get that time frame for when this connection will come in for Florence. Well, it's definitely feels like a summer connection. Like you'll meet this person potentially in the summer. Wasn't there a song like I met you in the summer, like in the mid 2000s? Let me see. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's by Loving Caliber, mid 2000s. It was in 2018, so like it was more relevant or more recent, I guess. You know, it still hurts a little bit, but not that much. Because if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I've been thinking about, oh, I just clicked it, so it expanded. Let me find it. I've been thinking about you all the time, but that's all right. I'm starting to get used to it. I think I'll survive. I met you in the summer. When you left, it was cold. Said we loved one another. Guess that we were okay. So this is really a reflection of the past kind of coming back. And you may actually meet this next person in the summer, but the vibes are going to be immaculate. The vibes are going to be way different than meeting someone that you potentially met in the summer in the past, where you thought it was one thing, turns out it was actually something completely different, or you really like them and it turns out maybe they didn't like you the same way or as much, or wanting to put in as much effort. But this time it'll be different. The timing of it will be summer. Weirdly enough, I don't know that it's summer of 2026. It feels very much like summer of 2027. But let's just see. Yeah, and that waiting period, between now and then, kind of just feels like, oh man, I want this to happen sooner than later. But really, if you think about it, 2023 was 2 years ago already. Like time is going by so fast that before you know it, 2027 is going to be here. And it does feel like you'll meet this person in 20, or you'll at least take things to the next level potentially in 2027. Potentially in the summer. Doesn't necessarily have to be summer. This could just be like Leo energy. They have a Leo ascendant, sun, moon, rising. Ascendant, rising are the same thing. Yeah. Let's just see anything else you need to know before we close out. Even though we went over time, I'm just doing it today. I'm just going over time. Aw. It could even be someone from your past. Again, I don't see this as past in this life. It does feel like past life connection, meaning soulmate connection from a past life. Not to say though that if someone from your past in this life does return and you want to try things out, that it couldn't become something. It could. But this person's energy does feel very fresh and vibrant and new. Again, though, past life energy. So I hope that resonated for you, Florence. We have timestamped that for you. So even if she had to go, we have it. And Pika Lee had to go back to work. Oh, in case PayPal has issues, that's her. Okay, she has her question. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. All right, Versha, we're going to get into your question. So we are at Versha at 204.22. And Versha. Good luck coming in. Itchy nose. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Going to text. Okay. Yes, timestamp. I feel, let me turn it this way, easier to read. Okay. I feel a bombardment from all sides. I also feel it's about my paying attention to things as well. I'm getting the 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 4 of Coins energy for me along with the Hanged Man energy. I feel there is a lot transforming in my body and energy and getting an upgrade. So I see the attempt to not let that happen. I also feel I am reforming the contracts I made again and again before incarnating. I am looking for clarity and advice from my I am presence, monad, and pure source consciousness of how to maintain my frequency and untangle from this constant attack to bring me down in the frequency to prevent my level up. Yes. Okay. Ooh, itchy, itchy, itchy. That's a good thing, though. That's good. Itchy nose is good luck. So let's see what we need to know to clear this so that Versha can just move into this higher frequency, higher vibration, not have to deal with all this junk. And Versha is also donating for one more. Look, you were saying you got the 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles. Okay, why is this popping up over and over and over? Oh my gosh, come on now. Okay. We have 10 of Wands and 9 of Wands. Okay, you're about to close something out. This definitely feels like something kind of trying to siphon your life force or spiritual energy or reroute it, redirect it. And it feels very much in alignment with these things that are being released. So in the sign of Pisces, this would be in your 7th house where this alignment is taking place with Saturn and Neptune going in retrograde. And of course, because your natal Saturn is in your 1st house, this brings this karmic load into balance even greater. So there's definitely some shifts, some endings, the grief of that divine masculine in your life and lifetimes. That wrongs are being righted. Remember, so everything we talked about in that collective message, I'm hearing times 10 for you. It's very much on point with everything you've been dealing with, everything you've been going through. And I just heard Control Alt Delete, which isn't that like, I can't remember like off the top of my head. What does that mean? Why am I having like a moment? Control Alt Delete. Well, there's a song called Control Alt Delete, but so Control Alt, again, scrolling past their AI BS. Wikipedia says Control Alt Delete is a basic computer command on IBM PC compatible computers invoked by pressing the Control key while holding Control and Alt keys. Okay, well, I know that, but like, what does it do? Security window, you can lock the screen, sign out, change your password, or open the task manager from that screen. So it definitely feels like there's something with the matrix. Something with the matrix going on that you're able to access or kind of go on the back end to access by pressing the Control Alt Delete, energetically and spiritually speaking. Yeah, you can also start. So it's like a command for a new beginning. That's another way to put it. Thank you, Iron Bear 78. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, so there's something you're closing out and you've been trying to close this out, or it's been spiritually, you've been getting help from your own self, your monad, all these things to get this stuff closed out. But there's something that keeps it looping back before you're about to close this cycle and this hold that this matrix has on you for good. There's something that puts you back in the cycle. So that's what I want to tune into. What is it? Ooh, this just fell into my like desk off the bottom of the deck. This is literally stepping out of the matrix card, the 0, the Fool. I love this. Okay. What is it that's trying to stand in your way of literally taking yourself out of this matrix? Not by unaliving or any of that. What is it? What is it standing in your way? It does feel like someone else's energy. Let's just see what it is, and then we'll ask if there's anything that S is doing. Okay. So this is something that is like, I just heard piggybacking on your connection to spirit. So it's almost like when you connect to spirit, there's something that like comes in. It feels very, very much like the matrix itself and the way it's set up. And this is not just a you thing, Versha. I'm seeing this is for all of us that are in here that have a connection to our true spirit in any way, shape, or form. Whether that connection is a tiny whisper or a loud booming voice, we all have this like hijack. And what I'm seeing is like an outlet, like in the wall, like the little these and then the little circle in the middle, almost like, let's write it out. It's like, see that? Like, that's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. It's something they hook into when we connect, even if they're like the message is scrambled, because there's certain messages we do get from spirit that the matrix can't access at all, but they at the same time know we're accessing spirit. But even if they don't know, you know, they can't intercept the message, they know that it's taking place, if that makes sense. It's almost like what I'm hearing in my mind's eye, ear, whatever, hearing in my ear, hearing in my eye, um, is so when I was growing up, we had a police scanner in our house, and a lot of people, just curious looky-loo people, had those. But sometimes, if the police, like if it was about a minor or police were like trying to track a suspect, like in real time, and they didn't want that suspect being alerted by their scanner potentially if they had one, they would scramble the message, and that's what I'm getting is the matrix can't interpret some of these. Some they can, yes, but not all. And there's a lot of information that you do get from your higher self, monad, true self, whatever you want to call that aspect of yourself, that they can't understand what it is, but they can kind of try to, like, as it's coming into your awareness, try to distract you away from it. And that's where S comes into this. As the timer goes off, time's up, S, time's up, principalities working through this. It's like you almost get the download, and then something comes in, someone, S, or other people that these entities work through will come in to distract you away from this wisdom, from this knowledge. Anything else Versha needs to know? He is in attack mode constantly. Yeah, I love this deck too. Isn't it fun? I just got it on Amazon. It's called the Golden Foil or Gold Foil Tarot. I can't remember. One of those. Yeah, it's a fun one. And it's super bendy. Like, I don't want to bend it in half or it'll crease, but like pretty versatile. And I love the way it shuffles. It's probably my favorite deck to shuffle because it's kind of gritty on one side and textured on like, I love it. But look, this is your card, Versha. This is about being able to move beyond this to where this just won't be able to happen anymore. And again, the ties that bind that have been released that we got in that big collective message that we did earlier in the live stream, you're going to be able to progress forward in ways you've never done. But because it's a new path, off the beaten path, planting seeds in fertile soil, it's almost like we need to like flip the script or do a 180 or just completely start from scratch on the way that we go about moving forward in the world, in this relationship, this opportunity, this job, this whatever. And in your case, your connection with him is shifting in a way to where maybe potentially you're moving or able to move away from him, or the way that he's connecting or interacting with you can't get to you the way it once did eventually. Again, it may not be an all at once thing. So is there a way to cut this and collapse these hooks? I get it, because I see the mental attack has gone up 1,000 times around me. Yeah, he's in attack mode constantly. Remember the police reports in the paper growing up, right? I know. I need oh yeah, you need the deck at some point. Yeah. I am so upfront about our current lack of any relationship bond between us, yet it seems he's completely ignoring the fact. And it's because, Versha, this is what's crazy, is like it's not registering for him because he is very much on a different timeline, on a different wavelength than you are, to the point where It's like you're speaking Hebrew and he's speaking, I don't know, Aramaic or something. Like there's two completely different language models being used, even though you're using English probably, or whatever you're communicating in at home. But it's like it's just not registering from him to you. Demanding physical intimacy, even in such clarity, is crazy. Right. Iron Bear says, I absolutely agree with you. When you get visions and someone or something tries to direct negative energy your way to keep you from completing your mission, and it happens day in, day out, every day of every month, of every week, of every year, of everything in this matrix system by design. All right. I request something which he calls shouting and fighting. Yeah, let him. That's what I'm just hearing. Let him. Just let him. Just let him do what he's going to do. I mean, obviously, if he's putting hands on you or hurting you in any way that's beyond, you can put a stop to that. But I'm seeing that you really are protected in so many ways. And I just saw the Empress was flipped. Ooh, and the Seven of Swords. Okay. Your divine feminine is in hyper protective mode right now. Yeah, Kay saw goo oozing out of his bed last night. That could potentially be that she has eyes on these binds being released, because I really do see them as these like black, sticky, almost spider webby looking systems or controls, or like spider webs that are kind of put on our energy, on our physicality. Just they're there. Energetically speaking, they're there. But when I tune in a more clairvoyant kind of way, they feel very, very spider webby and sticky and black, gooey. Yeah, very much. Yeah, we're still doing donations and questions and all the fun things. We're still here doing the thing. um, yeah, it's definitely, the alignment is definitely not there between the two of you. And at this point, it's like if he continues operating in the way that he is, I just don't know that you never will be on the same page. Not that you ever really were fully on the same page as husband and wife, and like mission in life and goals in life, and everything lining up. I don't think you ever were there. But what I see is just like this chasm is just growing, and you're like going in two completely different destination points, energetically speaking, even though you're living maybe under the same roof, and things are just going to become more Greek to each of you, in trying to interpret what each of you is saying, even though you're using plain speaking, plain text. Yeah, grieving the loss of his connection last week. We have shared it in Lemuria. Yeah, and that's devastating, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be easy for her to just say, well, peace out, I'm done with this abuse and this, all of this, because she's here, yeah, on the H4 visa. I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah, so that just, it really, again, enmeshes or kind of puts this net or matrix around even just being in this connection with him, or being in this country, or just being able to live, the lifestyle that you're living now. It's almost like you have to just keep putting up with it in a way, but it's like finding a way to nuance it to where you can at least be compatible enough, maybe not romantically or intimately in that way, but to where you can just benefit each other as maybe more of a business partnership type of marriage than a love marriage or a intimate marriage, if that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of guidance in the collective reading for you, for sure. And I really do feel, now that we're clarifying some of this here for you, that last bit we were talking about that was very like specific for one or two people. I really do feel your energy is included in that. There's something changing in the next 5 years that will allow you, if you so choose, or allow him, if he so chooses, to go in your direction, for you to either branch off and do your own thing, legally speaking, and with all the right paperwork and be in all the right places that you want, or he's somehow coming closer to you to where you can align and do things. But right now it's just so much going like this. Yeah, 5 years, I know, right? But remember what we were saying about time, it's going by so fast. 2020 was 5 years ago, which blows my mind. Yeah, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of my grandma passing away. So that means a week after her funeral, which was November 7th, A week after the funeral, November 14th, will be my 5 years from my very first live stream. So we've been doing this thing for 5 years, you guys. Almost. Yeah, luckily you are on Earth. You will have to be creative and birth your own little universe within the chaos. You are smarter than him, so lean into that. Yeah, that's the thing is so many. I mean, this is kind of like the situation that you're currently in, Versha, even though like with the visa and the red tape of that is kind of just the norm for marriages, even as recent as like 18 whatever, where women were basically considered the man's property once you were old enough to be married, or sometimes not even old enough to be married. Your father, who you were father's property as a daughter, were passed to a husband. Usually there was some sort of dowry or a kind of business agreement that was made. And I know they still do this in places like India, like arranged marriages. It doesn't always have to be like arranged as far as, like, oh, if you marry my daughter to your son, then I will give you money. It may not be like that exactly. It still can be in some places and in some arrangements for sure, but it just used to be the norm. Not just with like the royals or the noble families, but like all sorts of families up until like less than 200 years ago. That was just the norm. And even as recently as like the 1970s, a woman was finally allowed to have her own bank account. Like we're still, it does feel to in a certain degree, Versha, that you're kind of closing out some of that patriarchal feminine suppression, even in modern day right now. You're closing that out or working your way through that personally for yourself, where so many others of us here in the chat, maybe that was 3 or 4 generations ago that were dealing with that. And I know like in my mom's mom, she was divorced and she had kids from like a couple different people. She had 16 kids total, but like, was having premarital or not premarital, during her marriage, stepping out and having kids with another guy. But the funny thing with that is, she was divorced, and then my grandma got divorced. Well, she didn't get divorced. No, she did get divorced from my mom's dad, and then she married a guy, and he died of like type 1 diabetes complications. And then she married the guy we called grandpa. So that was her third husband, my grandma's third husband. So like at least on my mother's side of the family line, like we've been separating ourselves as far as like, I'm not going to follow the patriarchal rules for a minute now. And then my mom's been divorced quite a few times too. So like, it happens. Not to say that divorce means sticking it to the man. I'm not going down that road specifically, but just to say that I have a choice, and maybe this marriage agreement isn't lining up with what I want. So like, I'm going to go my own way. That's at least a few generations now for some of us here in the chat. At least, well, for my family, it's like 4 generations back, at least on my mom's side. Mom's dad's side, I think her father, my mom's father, who I never met, and she only met maybe twice, he was the first one in their family to divorce, but he was part of the like sister wives, Mormon, whatever. My mom was thankfully not raised in all of that, because that, if you look up Dudley Levitt, Dudley, he was my 5 or 6 times great grandfather. And he had 5 wives and 49 kids. 49 kids. Who does that? So like, yeah, I don't know. I got all sorts of crazy ancestry going on way back there. And I didn't even know that until I think it was 2018. I learned that because my mom told me growing up that her dad's parents, not her dad technically his parents, and he is Mormon, but he never went to church or did any Mormon stuff. But his parents were pretty devout Mormons, and then their parents back to the like initiation or beginning of the whole Mormon thing, which I don't know. I'm not judging any Mormons out there, but like from what I've learned about it, just in my own, I would rather not be part of that. If it were me, if I had a choice, just saying. Anyway, I digress. I have some questions to get to, so let's keep going. I'm telling you, being a widow and breaking those generational curses of divorce is kind of epic, lol. Right? I mean, exactly. We're breaking the curses left, right, and center here. Okay, I love it. Okay, so yes, so I'm gonna update this list. So Pika Lee, you are on deck, my dear. And then, okay, so we have quite a lineup here still. Um, so Pika Lee, and she donated for pretty in-depth read with what she sent here, unless it's kind of a full read and a one card pull kind of included. And then we have one card for Jessa and a one card for Bearshet. So yeah, we can easily get through this here in the next, as long as I stay on task and don't go on 40 tangents, we should get through this in time for me to go, maybe hopefully have a quick lunch before I have to leave. So we're going to do this thing. Yes, we are. And I'm going to hold myself to my time. So I'm going to timestamp for Pika Lee. Let's start there because she had to go back to work. Pika Lee, which is sad because I always love to hang out with you in the chat. It's okay. 222508. Pika Lee. I always think your name is so cute. Pika Lee. Pika Lee. Okay. Only 30 tangents. Come on. Right? Meal prep. I know. I need to be doing the meal prep. And then, well, first, let's clean out my fridge. That definitely needs to happen first, which it's on my agenda for tomorrow. It will happen tomorrow. Oh, you can ask it today. It's fine. I can totally do it. Whatever you decide. Whatever you decide. We'll go with that. So, Pika Lee, I have timestamp. Now let's read. I haven't started the timer yet. I've timestamped, but I haven't started the timer yet. So, I'll do the thing, then do the timer. So, I may be in the chat since I'm on lunch break. Oh, may not be. Yes. I'm not sure if I should ask you about job, love, or just life in general. So, I'll leave it up to my higher self. Are there any messages of guidance from my higher self that I should know of? Okay, here we go. You are so welcome. Here we go. She said thank you. I'm not just like, you're welcome. No, she said thank you. I read that part in my head. So there we go. For Pika Lee, what does she need to be aware of? Love, life, spirit, anything that needs to come through. Oh, pantry is second on my list of let's get this done for sure. All right. Tuning into Pika Lee's lovely spirit. What does she need to know from her higher self, true self? Whoa, oh, wait. Slippery energy here. Okay, we have divine feminine energy with the mother, the empress. We have something, I don't know, are you planning a move or some sort of remodel or reorganization of your home? It kind of did look like it was in reverse here. So there may be just some re-examination, reorganization. We were talking about pantry and fridge cleaning, so maybe that's relevant to you as well. I mean, the messages that are going on in the chat right before someone's reading can also be very relevant. You just never know. And then we had the Page of Swords that was upright on the floor. Again, all of this is starting kind of slippery energy, just meaning you might have to work a little harder to make something happen here. But the Divine Feminine card kind of landed on the drawer. It didn't fall all the way to the ground. So it's like not quite falling in my lap, but like kind of next to me here. So there may even be something you're doing with your mother or connection with your mother, or really weird random thing with your mom. I don't know if there was something that your mom still has that used to be yours that she's saying, hey, do you want to come pick this up? I still have it at the house. There could be something like that going on. And maybe news of, or maybe even news or communication or talking about something that happened when you still lived under your mother's roof could also be one or the other or both of those things, or just reminiscing about the past or this thing you used to have and it's no longer in your possession, though, is what I'm seeing. Although your mom may still have something that was yours that she wants to give back to you because she may be herself doing some house cleaning, cleansing, purging, decluttering, all the things. Random weird message to get us started, but we're going to roll with it. All right. Here we go. Oh, we definitely have a thing of expired refried beans in a Tupperware that gotta go. It's gotta go. Disgusting. And when that's the case, I just throw the whole thing away. I don't even try to like clean it out. Like goodbye. Ew, ew, ew. I'm in the process of updating all of my Tupperwares and replacing it with glass containers, and you can't find like a glass lid. So you usually have to have like a plastic lid, but I'm trying to eliminate the plastics in my life as much as I can. Maybe, again, maybe there's a message in that for people, just eliminating some of the plastics. Plastics are not good for us. That is one thing. Ooh, and we have the Sun card. It's really interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pika. I want to say your birthday is this month, but there's some sort of chaotic, and not in a bad way. Chaos gets a bad rap a lot of times, but chaos is actually pure divine feminine energy that just doesn't have that divine masculine container to shape it or allow it to shape itself around the masculine. Yeah, it just needs like containment a little bit, like contain it. You have all this wine just pouring from the sky. You need a glass to contain it in, is what's kind of going on. So there may be a lot of divine feminine magic that's just pouring out of you right now, but there's nowhere for you to direct or contain it right now because you may be busy or distracted or have some things that you want to accomplish, but like your energy just feels maybe just a bit scattered, to where if you can even use your own divine masculine to contain or to kind of create a structure for which this beautiful divine energy to flow. It's almost like the riverbed is the masculine energy, and then the river itself, the waters of life itself, are the divine feminine energy. So finding a way to contain that beautiful divine feminine magic that's just pouring for you, especially around your solar return, because this came out with this divine feminine energy. And then that reminded me, I think your birthday's somewhere in October, somewhere between like the 13th and I don't even know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was somewhere between the 13th and the 18th or the 22nd. I don't know. Today's the 22nd. I think you would have said, "Hey, it's my birthday today." Well, if it is your birthday this month and we missed it, happy belated birthday, Pikali. I want to say it was your birthday this month. Sometime this month it was. Let's just see anything else Pikali needs to know. Anything else at all? Okay, yes. So there's a bit of confusion or just kind of being unsure. Like, where do I even start? Like, what do I do? What decision do I make? Let's get a clarifier. I always like to get a clarifier on that Two of Swords just to see what decision or confusion, like what area of life, or just give us some more framework here. Okay, that divine masculine. There it is. And potentially around some emotions that may be coming up and just feeling a bit scattered emotionally, maybe around certain times or parts of your cycle potentially are creating a bit of just emotional chaos. Again, that's not a bad thing. To allow those emotions to flow, let them go, can really help clear your field. But that all being said, it does feel like something is leading up to bringing in a divine masculine counterpart into, your romantic arena at some point. Probably not like tomorrow or the next day or 3 weeks from now. Not like that soon. But I see within it does feel like within about a year, less than a year. I mean, like a year just goes by so fast these days. It's like a year isn't even a bad thing anymore. Like you hear like, oh yeah, it'll happen in a year. Cool. Like bring it on. Like that's tomorrow, right? Because time just goes by so fast. Yeah, but there's something you're doing just in the shift with your own energy to open you up to bring that divine masculine in. And it really does feel like allowing your own divine masculine to act as this container for your own energy. And I totally forgot to start the timer, but it's okay. We'll wrap up here. I think we're about, well, I did timestamp it. I know we probably gabbed for a second before we got into it, but yeah, we're about at time. But let's just see. Let's go to what lies beneath. Ooh. In career, life, love, just anything that needs to come through spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, in alignment with Pikali's true spirit. What does she need to know? Emotional intelligence. There are those emotions. This is about emotional intelligence, emotional balance. So really beautiful. So this really is about tuning into your emotions, because not allowing your emotions to call the shots, not in that way, but just kind of fact checking what you want to do, what life is throwing at you with your emotions, and kind of using them as a tool or a gauge as far as like your emotions are almost like the navigation. Like, okay, this makes me feel this way. This makes me feel that way. And not that anything outside of us makes us feel any certain type of way. It's usually a lot of trauma within us. and then an outside trigger then makes us feel a certain way. But it does feel like you're getting to the root cause of some of these just triggers that maybe have been there in the ancestral line back and back and back. And this is kind of a theme that we were talking about. We talked about with Brianna's reading. We talked about it in our kind of our collective reading today about veils of illusion or just false contracts that we were bound into are being released. So if you did miss that part of the beginning of the live stream, it's very potent and powerful of just a read on what's going on energetically right now. Nothing you need to do as far as anything extra. It's just being aware that, okay, binds are being lifted off of me so that I can live a freer, in alignment with my true spirit existence. All right. Put all these back. I like to kind of stagger them into the deck so they're not all in one clump again. Okay. So we have Pika Lee. Now we have Jessa. One card for Jessa. Go ahead and post your question. Then we have the one card and a full read from Versha. So I will make my timer. I will stick to my timers. That's what I will do. I will put my one card pull timer on and my full card timer on and all the fun things. And we will get this done in a timely manner. Okay, so once Jessa posts her question, we'll get right into that for her. And while we're at it, I might as well timestamp. I'll just timestamp anyone else that we do, since I'm timestamping for Versha and we have 2 more from her. I might as well timestamp for Jessa. So 2:35:29. Solar Siren 2:09. Okay. Oh, I can do yours on Friday if it helps. Either way, I'm totally cool either way. Yeah, I still have time. I don't have to leave here till 2, which is about 20 minutes from now. So, and if I have to eat when I get home, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I'm like just slightly hungry, not like, oh my God, I need to eat before I leave. I'm okay. But thank you for your consideration. You're so sweet. All right. Okay. What the actual F is going on with Sam's energy, entity attachments, etc. I can't even. He's acting like David, and yes, I am doing a Frank smudge as we speak. Oh my gosh. I've chills, chills, they're multiplying. Yeah. So weirdly enough, this is what's really weird is, that reading we did last time, and it's like, you need to protect your feminine sexual essence, whatever. Not because of Sam and he's a bad guy or anything. Literally, this feels like an entity that was attached to David has somehow found its way to Sam because it was lying dormant in your energy field. So yeah, it is David's demon, literally speaking. One of a few that he has. So yeah, the gift that keeps on giving, David's demons. Let's tune into this. I see now that you're aware of it. Again, these illusions have to come to the surface. And I'm trying to remember where your Pisces house is. It's your in Vedic astrology, that's your 10th house of career, which has been like, what the is going on? That's where the veils of illusion are being lifted, and anything that is kind of blocking or standing in the way. If you missed the big collective we did, I think you were here for at least part of it. But go back and listen to that, even if you have to do it on 2 times speed to like get the information. It feels very relevant to what's going on here. But let's start the timer, because I didn't. We're going to do that. We're going to start the timer and get into this specifically. What the actual F is going on with Sam's energy, entity attachments, etc. I can't even. He's acting like David. And yes, I'm doing a Frank smudge. Okay. Okay. Yes. What I was just saying about balance being restored, these false things have to rise to the surface. So the fact that this was lying dormant in your energy field, the easiest way, weird, computer froze as you were getting to this question. When you showed me this, I was going to mention it, but like I couldn't fully form my thought when we were in our accountability meeting the other day. When you showed me, you said it's kind of like David, how, he just got something and, not even thinking and just set it up. When you panned the phone over to the computer setup, I felt David's energy so close, but I couldn't like register it on a conscious level until like after we were done talking. So, weirdly enough, that also was acting under this entity. Not saying that the furniture he brought in is entity infested. I'm not saying that at all. It's more energetically speaking. And this it started with David, but you're the kind of anchor of this entity energy because it was kind of lying dormant in your energy field after David checked out. Um to where it got reactivated. I'm hearing the very first time that you and Sam were intimate, it got reactivated for you. Uh into him, but then back to you, and then back to him. And it's just like ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. And that's why there's been this energy. And of course, you don't have to tell the whole chat. Like, think back to if you remember the date that you were first intimate with him. I want to say it was in 2024. Think back to that date and anything that happened as kind of a domino effect, or like, the dominoes falling after that date, as far as your career, because there's something with this entity that really blocked David from advancing in his career. From, you were like Miss Girl Boss and so close to the sun, no pun intended with the solar, um, that there was something that happened. There was a trigger point um, that made something transpire to, again, cloak you or shield you from the job search, as far as like you being a prime candidate. um no, literally. Yeah. um we've uncovered some more of it. We're recovering more of it right now. I love this. I'm so glad you asked this, because yes, that's what's been keeping you stuck. The 10th. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now that you're aware, where attention goes, energy flows. We spend our time, we pay attention. Now that you are aware that David's literal demons were dormant within you, now activated within Sam, and just ping ponging back and forth between you. Because this is also what I'm hearing, is this is also triggering certain ways that you would respond to David's energy that you thought had died right along with him, that are now back in action. You're like, who am I? I don't want to be this person. I don't want to feel the wrath of this, just that comes out when this demonic energy entity is triggering me from my divine or from a masculine in my life. Because let's be honest, I don't think David was ever operating in the divine masculine of his masculinity. Um, Even at his best, he was just kind of like, operating within more patriarchal masculinity. It does feel like, because he was so wounded just within his own energy that it was going to be very difficult for him to ever spiritually awaken in this life. It was too heavy of a burden for him. But now that you're aware, you can get this at the root. Your frankincense will definitely help. That egg cleanse you did the other day, weirdly enough, it's this energy that's going between you and Sam that allowed the Kathy and the Julie energy stuff to transpire in your career. It kind of opened the door. It's almost like you go on vacation and you leave all your doors and windows open to your house. Well, either a raccoon or a roach or a random looky-loo is going to come see what you got going on in your house if you're not there and it's not locked up or protected in any way. And I'm not saying you dropped the ball on your spiritual protection. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's almost like this was cloaked from you and kind of operating out of your awareness, to where now that you're aware, oh, believe me, the locks are already changed. Like, that's the energy going on here. Let's just see any advice. I know the timer went off, but like, we're getting the TT here. Any advice for Jessa in being able to clear this energy once and for all? I'm already hearing your awareness is the key. Your awareness is the key. And we were just talking about locks and keys. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Your divine feminine's got your back. Like, whoa. And then we have the unlocking of the solar energy. Once you get this locked and loaded yet again, your divine essence knows what to do to clear this. And that will bring out, that will absolutely bring out your career yet again out of dormancy. Because as this entity was dormant, your career could shine. And now that the entity is shining, your career went dormant. Does that make sense? And it definitely had the root cause within David that when he checked out, it kind of transferred over to you because you were the only anchor it could use to stay incarnated. I mean, it's technically not incarnated in the 3D, but it's giving like hell realm energy, but astral realm energy, which is very, very much right now merging with this 3D reality. Anything else? Closing out. Yeah, you're going to be able to clear this and have a happy home again. And then there's your 10 energy. You're going to be able to clear it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I did not expect all that, but there it is. There it is. Wow. The more you know. Comet with a rainbow. Remember, the more you know. All right. Dang. We got in on that one. All right. So next we have, excuse me. He lost all interest in me when I started girl bossing. Of course he did, because his demon couldn't feed off of you as eloquently as it once did. And then that's when he had to do what he did. We all know what he did. And by we all, I mean just you and I, because we don't need to let the whole chat know what he was doing. We don't need to know. We know. Not everyone needs to know. Yeah. That makes so much sense, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. You've cracked the case. At least we've gotten yet another layer of what the F is actually happening energetically, and it's all connected. It's not just your career, just your connection with Sam, your connection with David, your connection with Steven, your connection with this friend, that friend, this thing, that thing. It's all just like right there. And you lost your job while on vacation, resting in your divine feminine. Think of that. I mean, traveling can be kind of stressful and put us in our masculine a little bit, but like you were being provided for, you know, you were given a gift of a vacation and you were enjoying yourself. And then all of this happens. It's like, you can't make this up. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's all I have to say is wow. Okay. Up next. Okay. So I think Versha sent me a screenshot of the question. So I'm going to go over to my text. Okay. Let's read this one. So a neighbor contacted me to participate in the international night with her. She was rejected. Oh, she has rejected me and Kashfi in the past, and now she contacted me because she doesn't want to ask anyone else. After 2 weeks, I'm not interested in doing it with her. I called her today and said that S has a training that week and may not be able to take care of K, so I may not be able to participate physically due to politics and situationship-based relationships. I have withdrawn mostly from everyone in the community, and was upfront when I was contacted to participate. So there is another group participating. There is a political control and shadow issues with this lady who asked me. She is projecting stuff on me and the other lady she asked. I am ready to say no, even if she will think or judge me. Guidance about, I'm hearing say no, say no, say no, say no, say no, shout from the rooftops. You know what to do. You already know what to do. But let's get some guidance, wisdom, all the things. Oh, and let me timestamp. 2:47:12. I already read the question, so if you want to hear me say it, you can scroll back. 2:47:12. Versha. One card. Okay. I'm already hearing say no. You're doing the right thing by backing out. And I'm hearing too in the future. Whoa, chaotic energy. Holy cow. A lot of it just fell to the floor. I'm hearing too that in the future, if an opportunity, I'll loosely call this an opportunity. If an opportunity like this presents itself again, you'll be able to just know in the moment and say no in the moment and it not even be a thing to where like, oh, no problem. Like I'll just ask someone else, to where it won't even be a problem or an issue for you. But let me see. We've got a lot going on. So these two I caught. I can see that this is, you know, you're feeling a certain type of way about it. We call this like a lower octave of the devil. Feeling trapped, but not actually trapped. And this is definitely triggering her ego in this. And I don't know if this is someone who has come to your home or does come to your home, but there is this element of jealousy that she has around your home or how she perceives your home life to be. Interestingly enough, even though that has really nothing to do with the question you asked, that's coming up. Something to do with your home life that she's jealous of. And then I'm thinking like, if she actually knew the truth, she would not be jealous of what's going on here. But anyway, all of this fell just like this. So we'll see what's going on. So 5 of Swords, but it's in reverse. So there may be part of the reason you keep getting 5 Cups, 5 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, specifically that 5 of Swords, it's now in reverse. It's because her energy is connecting to you and creating almost this like hanged man, like same crap, different day kind of energy, just not being able to move forward. She's yet another wheel or another cog in the machine of just all of this other crap that's going on locally and with these groups that are coming into contact with you. This is basically yet another piece or bit of evidence or information letting you know this is not your tribe. This is not your community. I mean, they may live in your community, but you do not have to be in communion with these specific community members. This is just another, you know, brick in the wall, as I don't remember who sings that. Is that Pink Floyd? To let you know, yeah, definitely not for you, not for you, not for you. Evidence, 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 not for you. And it's playing, or it's able to, she was able to even get in contact with you because of, again, ancestral wounds, most likely from the masculines in your family line. You're able to walk away from this and actually find you getting presented with these opportunities like this lady, and then finally you being able to speak your voice and say, no, not for me. You don't know is a complete sentence is what I'm hearing. You don't even have to try to describe why you can't, or, you know, give an excuse as to why, which you're perfectly able to if you want to, but no is a complete sentence. You're able and allowed to change your mind, even if you're just like, I'm just not vibing with that, or I just don't feel like doing that today. That's your right and that's your prerogative. And I'm really zooming in or looking at the kind of texture in the silvery sky behind him. Well, it's gold, but it kind of is appearing silver on screen here. It's almost like Matrix running behind the scenes is what I'm getting. But you're going to be able to walk away from all these different people and members in the community that keep like taking little bites at you, as far as like almost like fish nibbling at bait. Like you're the bait, and all these fish keep kind of coming and nibbling at you, kind of sampling your energy, like, let me get a piece of that. Hey, do you want to do this with me? Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like somehow involving you, and you're able now to say no. And the more you can suss this out and piece this together, you're going to be able to actually say no to certain people. And then we have the, oh no, we had that already. No more hanged man, no more, you know, feeling like I have no energy, no more feeling like I need to be in bed, I'm physically sick and exhausted and not feeling well. That's you're flipping that script. That's coming out loud and clear, that as you start to really stand up and say no, and you don't have to shout it, like literally shout it from the rooftops, but just energetically, you're like, oh, no, thank you. That's powerful. Like someone will feel that and be like, oh, she has no F's left to give. I am not going in that direction. And not in a way where they're going to judge you either. I mean, people may judge you, but like at this point, it's like it doesn't matter, because you just going along, you know, with the status quo just to not piss someone off or not get judgment from them, that is going to deplete you much more than them just being like, oh, what a B word. She like canceled on me last minute, or, you know, she, whatever way they want to judge what you did or didn't do with them or for them or to them. Just let them do what they're going to do. You can protect your energy. Yeah. And that's going to be in your best interest. Saying no, shouting it from the rooftops, energetically speaking. You don't literally have to shout it in their faces or anything, but like energetically being a very firm no, or no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I'm choosing to do something else, or, you know, whatever. If you want to excuse it, fine. Or if you want to just say no, period, fine. However you want to go forward with that. Yeah, she made it loud and clear message by not inviting Kashfi to her daughter's party. And then when included her in the holiday, when I included her in the holiday potluck, she made a huge deal around it. Even from Kashfi, the girls told her how much she is hated, how her mom is a strict monster. Good for them. You know, they literally have no real read on the actual situation. And that's just the thing, is people are going to perceive what they project onto you regardless of what's actually going on. And a prime example of this with that lady is her being jealous of your home life, or what she perceives your home life to be, just from how she sees you out in the community. It's nothing like what she perceives it to be, or how she's kind of making it up in her head how you must be in your home or in your family life. that she's jealous of. She has no idea what this actually is. Um, yeah, I said, I'm sorry, but I will not be able to be present there, and I have to be present for my daughter. I can give you the stuff to put on display, but I will not be able to participate. Take Kashvi to her taekwondo class. Yeah. Yeah. So no is a complete sentence, and you're doing the right thing. You're protecting your energy, and that's the right move here. So I know we did go over time, but you know me, I can't stop, won't stop. But we will get going on your next question so we can finish up. So this is the very last one for today, but I will see you guys again on Friday. I can't remember if it's a donation only or not. I don't remember. I will check that out when we're done with Versh's question. So timestamp, planning to apply out of school district for K to a school called Hendricks Middle School. Is it aligned with K's highest and greatest good? Guidance from pure source consciousness, please. Should I apply or not? Okay. I'm already feeling like a weight lifted or a relief just tuning into the energy of this. I'm not seeing that it'll be completely perfect because even the most perfect middle school can be hard. It really can. I had a decently okay, easy middle school experience, and it was still really difficult for me. Like, I think it was way harder than college or high school or elementary. Middle school I was really depressed. I don't know what it was. And this is even before my house burned in 8th grade when I was still in middle school, but in 7th grade itself was the most difficult. And it was just because of my own internal rising of spiritual consciousness that just didn't align with just the outright BS that kids in middle school get up to, just calling each other names, being stupid, just having no brain in their head for the most part. Detailed in the text. Let me read that. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Let me check in. Okay, Hendricks Middle School, aligned with K's highest good. Is there any school good for her? I mean, she will go to North Forsyth Middle School, which is the same as her elementary school. That is very sad. Race is completely into dimming her light. Yeah, I don't get a good vibe from North Forsyth Middle School. I will have to drive 25 minutes one way, but I am ready to do it if it will be best for her. And if she gets selected to go there, guidance from pure source consciousness, please. Should I apply or not? Okay, yeah. So let's tune in. Just as far as should you apply or not, should Versha apply to Hendricks Middle School? Okay, slippery energy, but look, this is going to be a much more stable, and she feels at home at this place. So that is a yes as far as applying. As far as them accepting or allowing her to go out of district, that's another question. But let's see what this slippery energy is here. Okay. So we have this kind of restful, trying to recover kind of energy that may be difficult. So it might be almost like a whiplash of going from one place to another. But the difference of, having to drive longer and it, being maybe a bit of a pain in the butt as far as to be able to get to school and do all the things, it's definitely going to feel much more restful after that kind of calibration period of, okay, I'm in middle school now. It's a whole new middle school. I don't know any of these kids, but let's make a new beginning. She'll be able to. So let's see as far as if she will be able to be accepted, because I know you've run into issues applying out of district before. So let's just see if she will be accepted. Oh, interesting. So it feels like in the physical level or physical reality, the word is no, but there's something you can do as far as, your own intuition, your own magic, your own rituals, your own breaking of contracts, whatever resonates for you. There's something you can do that can kind of turn that frown upside down or turn that no into a yes. Yeah, making a new beginning rather than going to be a difficult school. Right. Advice. What can Versha do to actually get her daughter to this Hendricks Middle School and get accepted and her actually go to this middle school? Advice. Okay. So there may be some belief systems that are already kind of blocking you. Like, well, they're probably going to say no because last time they said no, or this time this happened and blah, blah, blah. It feels to me like there's looser rules here that you just kind of shifting your perspective will give you a yes. Will open this new opportunity up. And there's an emotional connection that she can make with someone. It feels like a female friend that she can make at this new middle school, that they're like two peas in a pod. It feels very much like sister, like good sister, good sister energy. Let's see, how is Versha accomplishing this? If it looks like a no in the physical reality, how is she accomplishing this? Okay, so it's like pleasant surprises. So it's like you're going to a different timeline, like opening up higher timelines to be able to access this, because in the current timeline everything's going on in, it feels like they'll just say, "Oh, you're out of district, you're way too far." The answer is no. But it, it may even be that there's another closer middle school that feels more in alignment or something. Look, there's a lot of new energy here. And not just because she'll be at this other new North Forsyth or whatever it's called middle school, but like new energy, new kids, new everything. But there's something you're doing spiritually that will open this up for her. What is it? What is it that Versha's doing spiritually that will open this up for her? Just give it to us straight. Give it to us straight. Okay, so you're closing out some old cycles and some old traumas, allowing these old contracts and matrix, like we were uncovering earlier in the collective, just allowing these shifts to happen and these binds to loosen will help put you on a new trajectory. Is there anything she can do above and beyond? Okay, yeah, there are things you can do in the physical reality that will open this up. And it may be planting seeds, like you say, contacting the principal. I'm a bit nervous for sure, just because the rejection I got earlier. And that could be playing in and amplifying, more. Little Middle, Lakeside, Liberty Middle School are the other three. But the timing is still open till November 15th. Yeah, I would say apply at any one of those. Every single one of those I read, I did not get that like gut dropping kind of energy I get when I tune into North Forsyth or whatever it was called. Any one of those would be better than where she would go just in district. But I'm seeing one of those might be close enough that it's like where you live may be on some sort of boundary line that they're really open to letting you in, because it almost is like you are in their district still, if that makes sense. It's weird because in this town I'm in, they're really lenient. Like, you live way across town, that's on you to get your kid over here. As long as you're paying taxes, we'll take your kid pretty much, unless we're like completely at capacity, which is really not the case anywhere here in town. They're pretty open, as far as I know. Whether you live in and even if you like live in district at the school you're at, but then you have to move, they don't kick you out of the school just because you moved out of district. A lot of times they'll just, as long as you let them know, hey, we're out of district, but I'd still like to, have my kid go here. They're really good about it here. Yeah, I will apply to them as well. Yeah, I am even ready to move into a rented home for this. I even told S about this. Yeah, I mean, if her education is as important to him as he says it is, he would do the right thing and give her a more supportive and learning environment, because she can be the smartest person ever out there. But if you're in a toxic environment and it's hard for you to focus on your work, you're going to start slipping because the environment's toxic. You're in survival mode while you're at school. If you're having to feel like you're energetically defending yourself against bullies, or what did that person just say to me and what's going on over here, she's not even able to focus on her studies. That can be like a point of sale to sell this to him, as far as all of that. But I would say apply to those other middle schools and the one that you really want, and just lay it out. Just say, she's had a lot of racism and bullying, and you don't have to make it a big sob story, but just kind of touch on the basics of what's going on, and just say, she's a very bright student, and some of what she's accomplished lately has slipped because of the learning environment she's in. And just say, whatever else you feel the need to say, but let's just get a closing advice as far as applying and what to say, what to do. Okay, we had it flip out, but it did not fall. Okay, so I can see your stress may be affecting this. So you can release, do whatever kind of ritual or whatever to release any stress you may have around the situation, or around hearing the word no or a rejection in this regard. Any other further advice moving forward? Asking for appointments with principals. What advice? What advice? Yeah. because justice is going to be served as far as her being able to go in a place that's way more supportive. Because where she initially was, that first school when you guys moved, it felt so good. It felt like such a fit. And then you guys moved and she had to move schools. And it seemed like after that, it was just like, blah, 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 blah. Like just not getting better and maybe even potentially getting worse for her where she's at currently or where she will be going next year if she's on this same kind of trajectory. You may also want to look into astrocartography as far as if moving, over here might help with that. You can look, I don't know, like astro.com, I think has the astrocartography. And looking at Kashvi's chart specifically, like if she's on her Mercury line or her, whatever, because what I'm getting energetically speaking, this really does feel like Mars energy. It's like she's on a Mars line where she's always feeling like she has to correct people or defend herself or like be in like fight or flight kind of mode rather than relaxing and just really getting cerebral. Like that's very Mercury. If you can get on, if you're studying anywhere, you want to live close to your Mercury line to get the biggest, most beneficial impact. Unless you have an afflicted Mercury, then you may want to go with something like a Venus or a, even a sun line could help an afflicted Mercury. Because Mercury and the sun usually do travel pretty close. And if you have a combust Mercury with the sun, you may want to look at that, but just see what's going on for that. I will apply to them as well. Yeah. Oh, I read that part. Yeah, I am in righteous anger right now. Her classroom teacher is much better this year, and Friday was her PTC, but she was all praises for her. Yeah, her dad has Mars on his ascendant. That makes sense. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just feel for you. This is what I mean, you should be able to, whatever happened to like living life in the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or whatever the Constitution or whatever one of those government documents says about just the right to just having really good pursuit of happiness and liberty and justice and not being bullied when you're going to school. It's just like, ugh. So yeah, just instead of trying to bend to the will of the matrix and move to, your Mercury line, her Mercury line, or her this line, or her that line, just override the effing matrix at this point. I'm just like, I'm not playing by your rules anymore. I see what you're doing here, Matrix, and I know I'm living on this line or that line or whatever line, but like, no, I determined that where I'm living is going to be sufficient enough to get my daughter what she needs and deserves. So screw you, Matrix. I'm going to do my own thing. That's kind of what this is giving, is like, you're in that righteous anger mode of, no, I'm going to do what's right for my daughter. So closing statement. I know I went way over again, but let's do it. Woo! It went flying. So sticky, slippery energy, meaning you're going to have to work. She's going to have to work. You're going to have to work. Someone's going to have to work a little bit harder to get this. Coming into power. That makes sense. I step into my power boldly and confidently. Just like we were talking about with the neighbor. Like, no, absolutely not. No, thank you. Just no being a complete sentence. But also not coming at this from a, you will take my daughter or else, but just a, very confident in the fact that your daughter deserves a good education at a place where she doesn't have to continuously have to be on the defense. And then we have rising above. I see only beauty and grace. So this is letting you know that even if all of these other prospects for middle schools fail and she's rejected from every single one of them and she has to go to North Forsyth Middle School, this is letting you know, no matter what she has to be up against or go up against, she will be able to persevere and shine. It's very much Lotus energy. Still blooms through the muck and the mud. It still does its thing, regardless of having to live in a toxic environment. And she does deserve it. She really does. Big hugs to both of you. This just has to be so frustrating. At least her teacher, that's a thing. It's kind of the theme of your current just even living situation. It's like, this is not ideal, but I'm going to try to thrive and make the most of the household I've been dealt, the cards I've been dealt. I'm going to make the most of living here. And you can kind of help her shape out a very similar thing currently in the rest of this school year, or even moving into the future. If for say whatever reason she doesn't get into any one of those other middle schools, you can still help her energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually carve out a safe space, a nice bubble for herself to thrive in the midst of all the muck and the mire and the bullying and the racism and all the other crap she's, dealing with, she will still shine and rise above. Aw. Well, big hugs to all of you. That's no fun. I have to deal with that. I can't even imagine. Like, I've been so freaking lucky with all the schools my kids have gone to, the friend groups. There was a little bit of bullying and stuff going on with Boston in 5th grade, but it got nipped in the bud right away, and it's been so, I just feel so lucky, Yeah. Yeah, I'm asking her to do that, to stay away from the girls who are targeting her, but she is after them, wants them to accept her. And that's very understandable. I mean, I totally get it. It's like, if I call them out, maybe they'll let me join, or, it usually doesn't work that way. But like, when we're young and we have a big heart and we just want to be accepted, like, we don't always make the best choices for ourselves, or we put ourselves in harm's way in ways that maybe if we just kind of been like, okay, I'm steering clear and go this direction. It's hard. It's so hard. And this is a hard age too, 5th grade through like 9th grade is a really tough transitional kind of puberty time already. It's so hard. And then just all the crap that they deal with at school. It can be hard. Yeah. Some neighbors are flat out nosy and just suck. Will talk crap behind your back, and not knowing your situation. Absolutely. Yeah, and it happens. Yeah, it makes me more mad when you learn your lesson and let those girls go. I know, right? It's like, as mom, I can totally see the writing on the wall here. Why won't you just listen to me? Hindsight is definitely 2020. She'll be a 20-year-old Koshvi looking back and be like, Mom, you were so right. Why did I keep trying to fit in with those girls? Yeah. Time will definitely give her that hindsight eventually. But yeah, they judge you by the smile on your face, and they don't even like to scratch surface to know what is going on within you. That is so true. It really is. Well, I'm going to check our agenda for Friday, see what we have coming up. It looks like, yep, we will be doing a donation only live stream on Friday. So funny, I'm showing off Monty. I'm just hovering over the last Friday that we had, or 2 Fridays ago, I should say. Well, it was 2 weeks ago at any rate. We do the Friday only or donation only live stream every other Friday, and tomorrow will be that every other Friday. So we won't really have all the fun. I mean, we still do have fun. We still do have some back and forth, but I don't do like a big free 1 card pull for everybody, or free big reading, or a collective I don't know, cosmic question, or any of that. I think we still have fun though on the donation only live streams, but yeah. So we're going to do that on Friday. And yeah, thanks again, you guys, so much. What about today's giveaway? I saw it in the description. Oh, I must have forgot to delete it. Yeah, I totally didn't plan to do a giveaway today, but maybe we'll do that next Friday. Or sorry, we'll do the donation only Friday, and then we'll do a giveaway of some type on Wednesday. And I was going to say too that I don't know about moving our regular schedule for Woo Woo Wednesday back to 6 p.m. because this is Wrigley's bedroom, and I like him to be in bed reading by about 7:30 when we don't have sport nights, which we're kind of coming into the end of soccer. We already ended football, but he does have soccer practice at 6 tonight. So I might, just for the foreseeable future, keep our live stream during the day on Wednesday. It's been working pretty good. I know, though, there are those people that really love when we have it at the regular time at 6 p.m. on Wednesday nights, because they can actually attend because they're usually working or whatever during the day. And I do apologize for that, but I don't have a dedicated workspace yet. Still don't. So I might just keep it in here, or otherwise I would probably have to limit it to about 1 hour, 1 hour and a half on Wednesday nights. And I don't really want to do that, because that's when we can just kind of let our hair down and relax and not feel rushed, whereas during the day, if I start at 11, like I'm 3 hours and 13 minutes into this live stream today, and I kind of do got to get going. I like to be there by about 2:20. So I have 5 minutes before I need to, and it's literally so close to my house. It's fine. I'm not going to be late or anything, but I like to just relax and unwind. But we'll do what we got to do, moving forward. So if we have to keep it like this for a bit, I'll roll with it. But my other only real option right now is to move into the garage, but we're moving into kind of we're in fall now and it's cold, but winter season. And I'm gonna have to heat up the garage, and we don't have like a access from the house to the garage because like our garage is our ground level, then our main level, then upstairs where I'm at right now. So it's not like I can just go directly from the house into the garage, and the only access into the garage are the 2 garage doors. So every time you open the garage door to get into the garage or the garage door to get out of the garage, you let all the cold winter air in, even if you have like a space heater or something. So it's not like, and also like, cold and spidery and all the fun things. No natural light. I don't have any light windows or anything in my garage doors. They're just wooden garage doors. I do have lights and I could put lights, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll figure something out eventually. I mean, it's definitely an option. If I have to do it, I will do it. I'm not looking forward to being in the garage because it's cold in there. Year round, it's like 45 degrees in there. So unless we would leave the garage doors open all day, it would probably get warm in the summer, but not in the winter. Oh, you got gang stalked last summer because they didn't know why I was home all the time. I had to tell them I had Parkinson's. I shouldn't have to. Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Iron Bear. That is not cool. Aw. Big hugs to you. Well, big hugs to everybody. I'm gonna go. My dogs are barking. They probably need to pee. They've been crossing their legs for 3 hours and 15 minutes now. I'm gonna quickly write these timestamps down right as I go. I'm glad I remembered that. So I'm gonna do that. So thanks again, you guys, so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live on Friday for our donation-only live stream. I will see you then, guys. Bye.